Hello and welcome back to another episode of Diplostrats. I'm here once again with Ezio. Hey Ezio.
Hello, hello.
And today we're going to be looking at a tournament game for the first time in quite a while now, actually, I think. You may also have noticed that the names on the power rankings are real names. They're not pseudonyms for once. This is because this was an in-person tournament. This was WorldDipCon Milan this year, which is where the World Championship was held. This is the World Championship final. So super exciting one to commentate. A couple of things I need to mention about the format of this game. Usually, Paris method is a thing in these, which is we don't need to explain it for this, but it's something where you get to select your powers, and then there's a tiebreaker based on that. That's not the case in this tournament. The tiebreak is countback, which means if two players are tied on supply center count at the end of the game, they will look back to the turn before that, see who was on the highest supply center count, and that person will win the game. If there's another tie, they go back to the previous year, and so on and so forth. Just prior to the recording here, Ezio asked what happens if it goes all the way back to the start, and the answer is, I have no idea. I think they have some kind of contingency plan for that, but I haven't read the rules completely, and that seems super unlikely, so yeah. The other thing to mention is that this was a mainland European tournament. It is, of course, being hosted in Milan. Something important to know about mainland European tournaments is that they differ a lot from American tournaments in just the length of the game, right? So the Blitz format, which you may have seen from other Diplostrats videos, is based on that style of game, where it only goes to 1908 and then ends. So usually with American tournaments, you'll see a much longer time limit. Like 1910 is the shortest, and then it might be 1912, it might be like 1915, it might even be unlimited. But no, mainland European tournaments always have a deadline of either 1907 or 1908, and this game is 1908, so going to be a very fast one here. Uh, Righto, I think that's about everything that I need to mention before we jump on into this. Hey there, Editor Meme here, just jumping in before the commentary to say that we're going to be hosting a Diplostrats tournament, a voice chat tournament, over on our Discord server on the 20th of July. It's open to all experience levels. If you're interested, please join the Discord server link below, and you can find out more information about it there. Now, back to the commentary. Ezio, is there anything that stands out to you on this starting board?
The thing that stands out to me is how standard this opening is. It's amazing. Everyone did truly tried and tested openings, nothing at all unusual. And it's in fact a little unusual that everyone did something so standard. Normally there's a little something to look at and open your eyes at. But nope, perfectly standard. Everybody did normal things. There were two bounces in Galicia and Burgundy. That's great. Everyone was nice and solid. And as a result, I don't know what to talk about exactly because
uh,
everything's so straightforward.
I feel like the French opening maybe isn't the most straightforward one, right? Going up to Picardy at the same time as bouncing Burgundy, it's like not. It's not an uncommon opening, but it's not a super common opening either, right? Because
Sure.
if the Italian goes to Piedmont here, you've kind of screwed yourself by doing this bounce in Burgundy. You can't go and take Spain anymore because the Italian will come into Marseille afterwards. Whereas if you go into Spain on turn one in spring 1901 here, then you have the chance of bouncing the Italian out. You basically have to take 50-50 on whether the Italian is going into Marseille or holding.
Yeah, but also Italy goes into Piedmont in what percentage of games? It's got to be like 10%.
Yeah, it's probably not that high.
And the cost of moving into Spain from Marseille, and then you would, if you wanted to bounce in Burgundy, you would have to use Paris. It gives you no claim on Belgium and no influence on Belgium. By doing it this way, you minimize Germany's influence on Belgium, usually reducing it to zero if Germany moves to take Denmark like this. And so this gives you the most influence over Belgium. which is, I think, very common. It is like it's not the most common French opening because France has so many viable things that are all very similar. But this is a great move set.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in what might happen on Belgium now that they've given themselves some say over it, right? Because only France and England have those units adjacent to Belgium. I I'd imagine the result would just be England convoying into Norway so France can walk in unopposed. But you know, some Englands do like contesting Belgium. Like, would you ever offer to support England into Belgium in this situation?
Yeah, would I ever? Yeah, I would ever do this. I would support England to Belgium. I don't know if it's what I would do most of the time.
Hmm.
I think when I'm in Picardy like this, um, yeah, I'd probably feel more comfortable doing it like this. Um, the other thing, if you really want to lay claim on Belgium, right, is you can support yourself into Burgundy from Paris, and that leads to a very similar board state, with your armies in Burgundy instead of Picardy, but Marseille still held. And this is slightly more pro-German, which is why like I prefer the convoy to happen if I'm in Burgundy, because then we can support into Ruhr and we can make more progress against Germany. But like it's still very similar. I would still do it. I wouldn't ruffle my feathers too much. That said, I'd probably tell England, dude, I'm moving to Belgium. You can bounce me if you want, but don't, because let's go and do other stuff, right? I'd
Yeah.
probably do that. Just try to be the nice three center build, French, two fleets in an army. Let's go.
To be
Um,
honest, if you do say that, I think as England, I do just convoy into Norway because, like, for one, I'm not gaining anything by bouncing you out of Belgium. If anything, I'm potentially gaining an enemy there, right? And if I don't bounce you out of Belgium, I'm also gaining someone I can point at and say, "Hey, that guy got 3 builds on the first turn. Let's
yeah,
all go
right.
and nuke them."
Yeah, everyone loves it when France takes Belgium on turn one because then everyone attacks France. It's great. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd be tempted because I don't normally go for this opening because I don't like it. I feel like if you're doing this opening, you want to take Belgium, so stick to the plan here. Take Belgium. Don't call it. Don't stress yourself out. But I don't know.
Yeah. I guess the only other two moves I'd want to talk about on this board as being not so much unusual, but just something to point out. Venice to Tyrolia is like an early, the Italian like doing something with that opening off the bat, right? And we haven't seen that a lot. Well, actually, I say that we did see that in the Veilfist game, right? We do see that in other games, but in quite a lot of games that we look at, Venice ends up holding in the first year just because that Austrian fleet is there, I think, or because they don't want to antagonize the Austrian. But really, this is a good move, right? It's going and mobilizing it and making sure that you can do something with that unit. And generally, the Austrian won't take it as aggressive if you don't follow it up with Rome to Venice, which you'll note
Yeah, and
the
if the
Italian.
Austria does take it as aggressive, that's when you kill the Austria.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to mention is we see the like standard Turkish opening, but this isn't the opening I view as standard Turkish these days in tournament settings, right? Usually now we see Smyrna to Ankara, which is we have a whole video explaining why that's played, so go and check that out if you want to look at it. But just the fact that we have Smyrna to Constantinople in this context, maybe Turkey was thinking there would be a shot at them getting a fifth center here, or there is a shot at them getting a fifth center in the first year. So
Yeah,
something
it's
to keep
also
an
in
eye on.
Europe, right? So the meta's going to be different.
That is absolutely true. Yep. So we might see a few things we're not expecting here. Yeah, is there anything else to talk about?
Now let's go to O2. Let's see it. Or, well, fall of O1. But yeah.
Yep. Alright, fall 1901. Here we go. Well, I guess Turkey was not expecting the fifth build. Well, the fifth center. just held in Bulgaria,
Sure.
which is totally fair, right? It doesn't gain you anything. It doesn't lose you any alliances if you're not attempting to bounce anyone out. But at the same time, we see the flaw with this opening, with moving to Constantinople, because now Constantinople has to cover a build center in order to let this fleet out. I would have been more
Yeah,
tempted just to go to Black Sea and then build Fleet Smyrna, or just hold an anchor and build Fleet Smyrna here. Uh,
yeah. This is yeah. Covering Smyrna here feels really bad. Um, because they can Lepanto you, and you can't stop it easily, right? They can just move Ionian to Eastern Med, and that's not stopped. And then Naples to Ionian, and so you might have to stick an army in Syria forever. Oof, that's unfortunate.
yeah, it's like Ankara to Constantinople is clearly pro-Russian, right? They clearly said to each other, "Hey, we're not going to go to the Black Sea. Let me do something that proves that I'm not going to the Black Sea." But then, do you have to build another fleet in Ankara anyway? Because putting an army down is not pro-Russian, right? And like, if you put a fleet down in Ankara, you've just defied the points of what you did here.
Yeah, putting an army in Ankara feels also anti-Turkish.
Anti-Turkish.
Yes, it's self-sabotage. Um,
Yep. You, there's just no way to get that out of Turkey. Is the issue there?
yeah, you have to build a fleet, and that fleet, then you're like, all right, well, we'll shuffle, right? Then Khan to Smyrna, Smyrna to Ankara, Ankh to Khan, and you can just keep shuffling. And then
Yep.
you're stuck next turn, because then you have a fleet in Smyrna, and the fleet in Smyrna can't go to Ankara, so you have to do a productive move then. But
But until
it's
then, you
so it's
can go
very
in
sad.
triangles. That
Yeah,
sounds
but you could
great.
build another army then, and then you could move Khan to Aegean and then Bulgaria back to Khan to keep the shuffle going.
Oh no. Okay, well, this is a lot of talking to basically say this move feels really, really bad. I
Yes.
I do not like it. Uh,
So a very interesting thing to notice, I think the most interesting non-move here is Denmark hold instead of bouncing Russia out of Sweden.
yes. Uh, just I think that's like quite a common thing in tournaments. Like it's more common not to bounce Russia than it is to bounce Russia generally. Just because you don't want to make enemies in the first year, right? That is just a good rule of thumb for tournament diplomacy. Try and keep everyone on side for the first year, unless you're super hard committing against someone.
Do you also want to let Russia build too?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, but I'd say yes because like Russia's second build is rarely a problem for you as Germany, right? Russia will not be jumping on you immediately, especially not if you've let them into Sweden. It's more of a problem for England than it is for you. That would be my reasoning for it anyway. And I think
Yeah,
it's like this is tournament meta at this point. Is just
sure.
let them into Sweden. Um,
Okay. We also see the bounce in Belgium, attempted convoy.
yeah, this one is super interesting to me, right? Because you not getting your convoy off as England is quite painful in the first year. You do want to get that army somewhere because it's kind of difficult to get off the island if you don't get it off early. So did France not tell England that they were going to Belgium here? Or did England just
Let's
decide it was
be.
more valuable to bounce?
I would be shocked if England decided to bounce Belgium. I guess, actually, I wouldn't be shocked. Because I hate moving my army in Norway, man. As England,
Really?
I do not love it. Yeah,
I love Army Norway. I've moved Norway to Finland like more often than I think any other player does.
probably. Because
Uh,
you love taking St. Petersburg as England. You feel that St. Petersburg is your center. You're entitled to deny Russia northern fleets.
Yes. I
Um,
mean,
and so
we all
for
know
that
England
reason,
always wins when there are less northern fleets on the board, right? This is,
yeah. No, it's a reasonable perspective. I feel that the army in Norway is so anti-Russian that I feel sort of locked into it. Whereas if I can get my army into the lowlands, um, Belgium usually is the common place to start, then I have flexibility in the West. So I like getting it convoyed out there. So I could see England talking to France and saying, "Dude, I'm convoying to Belgium. You're free to bounce me if you want, but if you let me in there, I'll attack Germany with you and we can be friends." And then France sat there and thought, "Nah, like zero-sum game, both people commit to it. That's how it's gonna be."
yeah, and denying England the second build means, I guess, there's a decent attack opportunity on them here. Although it's only decent in the same way that like any French attack opportunity on England is decent. It's not nothing particularly special. You're not in mid-Atlantic Ocean already or anything.
Yeah, in fact, this is super unspecial because the army's in Liverpool or Yorkshire. Excuse me, the army's in Yorkshire still. So it's like the army can cover Liverpool.
Yep. But
So
you
I
at
think we can
least,
look at some
yeah.
builds.
Uh,
Yeah, let's see what people are
oh
actually
wait, I
thinking.
do. I do also want to say Munich tapping Tyrolia is kind of interesting. I have a
Sure.
feeling that this was mutually agreed between the two of them. Like, it was basically Germany saying, hey, I want to make sure that you're not stabbing Austria this turn, so I'm just going to go to Tyrolia, and if you've gone into Trieste or something, then I'll help the Austrian against you. Which isn't
Yep.
something we see very often, but I think it's a really smart move as Germany. You definitely don't want to see a super strong Italy off the bat. Um,
Yeah, and importantly, you do want to see a strong Austria because your point about Russia usually doesn't attack Germany straight away because Russia usually attacks Austria straight away. But if Austria crumbles to an Italian stab, then Russia cleans up Austria quickly and then hits Germany. So Germany is usually happy to have a strong Austria. Tapping Tyrolia, if it's in support of that, is a great move.
yep. Well, that is just my read on it. I don't 100% know that that's what happened, but it certainly looks like it's what happened, right? You don't hold you don't do nothing with Tyrolia unless you kind of know that it needs to do nothing. Um,
Sure.
I don't know that that's true. Actually, you can absolutely do nothing with Tyrolia. It just feels odd to see a hold.
Yep.
Right. So on to winter. Winter 1901. Anything
Fleet,
interesting here?
Fleet Ankara.
Yes. I mean, it's
Edwins.
forced, right? It really is forced. You can't
Yep.
not build a fleet.
Wouldn't you have rather just held your fleet in Khan and then built the fleet in Smyrna? Like, would you rather have fleet in Khan, fleet in Ankara, or fleet in Smyrna, fleet in Ankara?
I would absolutely rather have fleet Smyrna.
Yeah. Oh well.
But I guess if you do have fleet Smyrna, then it's kind of difficult to get into a position where you have two fleets on this front. Or to guarantee that you can get into a position with two fleets on the med front.
Sure.
Whereas here you can guarantee it, you just sacrifice an entire turn to do it. Which
Yeah, I mean,
is,
you could just move Smyrna into Syria.
yeah, I would not be surprised to see
Oh,
it. It
God.
feels so painful, but it's also not that uncommon to see Turkeys put an army into Syria just to discourage the Lepanto, right?
Yep.
Because it is such a devastating order set if it goes through. The Lepanto being the convoy of Tunis to Syria.
Yep. We see France built an army in Paris. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. I guess it sets up for more convoys into the British Isles, maybe.
So I think it's the maximum pressure on Belgium. Right, I wanted Belgium. I told you guys I wanted Belgium. I'm moving to English Channel. I'm moving to Burgundy. I'm probably supporting myself into Burgundy. I will take Belgium. Roar, I am France.
I mean, you can move into Burgundy from Marseille, right? So that's the weird thing about this build is it feels strictly inferior to Army Marseille, but maybe he also just had an agreement with Italy not to build in Marseille. And this one is a bit more like outright saying, I am absolutely going to do this because Burgundy is the only useful province this can go to.
Yep.
Yeah. Fleet Edinburgh is also super interesting. I would not have built Fleet Edinburgh after getting bounced out of Belgium. I would have built Fleet London.
Yep. And this is why neither one of us can ever de-escalate a war.
Yes. It should be noted that we are, of course, commentating this without access to the negotiations, and negotiations are a huge part of diplomacy, right? So if you have the chance to talk someone down, then sometimes a build like this is worth it. But it should also be noted that in most face-to-face tournaments, and I assume in this one too, you don't get to talk during the build phase. So I don't think they would have been able to discuss de-escalation if this bounce in Belgium wasn't agreed.
Yep.
So...
Not during the builds.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been a preemptive leap of faith to say, hello, I could have built in London, but I didn't. I want to be friends with you. Why don't you be friends with me? Type deal.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out for England.
Army St. Petersburg as well. That's a CaptainMeme build. That is not an Ezio build, I assume. Because
I kind of like it here.
You like your fleets, right?
I do like fleets. Here I would build the army in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
I wouldn't build a fleet St. Petersburg here.
Yeah. I like Army St. Petersburg. It's very flexible. It can go down and help you out in the south, which Fleet St. Petersburg North Coast cannot. Fleet St. Petersburg North Coast is committing a bit hard to the idea that you are going to be successful in Scandinavia, which is not a guarantee yet. It depends a lot on what Germany is going to do. So, shall we go through to Spring '02?
Let's see it.
Alright. Spring 1902. You know, I think a 20-minute 1901 may be the fastest we've ever done 1901 in one of these videos.
I mean, look, it was a standard 01. There's not much going on. What can I say?
Yep. Alright, so, hopefully there's more to talk about on this one. Is there anywhere in particular you want to start?
We'll start with the south. Let's keep looking at Turkey.
Yep.
It's made out of Syria. Hey, look, it's gonna stop the Lepanto. But is it? Because Bulgaria's been lost. Russia is supporting Austria into Bulgaria and taking the Black Sea.
Yeah. This is a situation where you just wish you'd gone into Black Sea, right? Instead of to Constantinople.
This is a situation where you regret most of the decisions you've made in getting stuck with Turkey.
Yeah. And it is
three
just...
countries.
This happens...
You can't survive.
This happens so often in tournament games, right? Turkey just gets absolutely destroyed immediately because people are so worried about what Turkey can do. The upside to Turkey is usually you can hold out against that attack, at least for a little bit, just by defending yourself on your natural lines, right? Or having one ally. That doesn't feel like it's gonna be the case here. And, of course, the longer you can survive against something, the more chance there is that something on the other side of the board will change something on your side of the board, and then you'll be able to break back out again. But this situation, Aegean, Eastern Mediterranean, Bulgaria, Black Sea, this does not look good.
With an army in Sev to follow up, that can get supported into Armenia?
Yep.
Yeah. This is looking like the 03 elimination of Turkey, which is truly fast.
Yeah, perhaps the one saving grace of this is that Bull Army didn't get destroyed like it usually does. It went to Greece. But I think Greece can be taken back quite easily here, because they have Ionian Sea and they have Serbia, right?
Yeah, and Bulgaria and Aegean.
Well, yeah, but Bulgaria and Aegean presumably going to be working against the Turkish homeland. I'd be surprised if everything is focused on taking Greece, because, like, Greece isn't that
Yeah.
important at the end of the day.
Yep. But I think envisioning, say, Aegean supports Bulgaria into Khan, whilst Eastern Med cuts Smyrna, seems like a very likely way to do it. And then, since Austria is capturing a dot, maybe Austria will support Italy into Greece or something. I
That would
agree.
make
This is
sense,
not
yeah.
good.
Um, and of course, as Russia, you kind of just have to bank on having Ankara on the next turn, right? You're not gaining anything immediately. Maybe you can negotiate your way into Bulgaria if Austria is going to con. Uh,
Yeah, I would be really tempted to just pour myself into Bulgaria here and then move into Armenia and hope that it works out.
mm, yeah. Of course, the problem with cracking Turkey like this as well as this AIR kind of alliance is that after Turkey goes, one of you usually dies.
Yeah, good
And
news, it's usually Austria.
yeah, it is usually Austria, but as Russia, you want to take precautions to make sure that it's Austria. Usually, the way you'd want to do that is to try and make sure that you're keeping pace on supply centers. So, going into Bulgaria would be a nice way to assure that. um, but yeah, uh,
Yeah, I don't know how much you have to work on it, to be honest. I feel like as Russia, um, Italy just it's so natural to attack Austria when you've got your fleet in the Eastern Med and Ionian like this. You're gonna take Smyrna, you're gonna build another thing. Oh, Italy pulled their army back to Venice purely defensively. Yeah, I understand. That's what you do. But then that army in Venice can move also. So I think as long as you get something, usually Ankara, and as long as you're still in the Black Sea, you're doing fine. Especially if they're taking Turkey with armies, like, ooh.
yeah. It's kind of interesting in this situation because the Lepanto part of the Lepanto is not going to work, right? You're not getting a Tunis army into Turkey anytime soon as Italy. So maybe attacking Austria is even more incentivized right now.
Yeah, because Italy's not going to get anything.
Yeah, exactly. Which is presumably the basis for giving Italy Greece, right? You're like, hey, here, Italy, take Greece and forget about growing for a little while, okay? Um, but you kind of, if you're giving Italy Greece, you kind of have to give it via convoy.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Red alert.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
Nope.
I would hate giving it to Italy via convoy. But like, wouldn't Italy agree to go in from Ionian here and leave
Yeah.
it open?
There's a fleet in Spain's south coast and mid-Atlantic Ocean. It looks like there's going to be England and France working together here. Those fleets are coming to the south. You got to keep
Fair,
your
so
army in
you gotta
Tunis to
keep
stay
Tunis.
safe.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know, it just it just
As
feels bad
Austria, I'm
as Italy.
refusing to support the army into Greece. Period. End of story.
Hmm.
Under no circumstance will I support that move.
I think that's fair. I guess, yeah, then Italy gets to put down Fleet Naples and go off to Tyrrhenian and just lock down that front. um, I don't know. As Italy, I would really want to convoy Tunis to Greece, but then I guess that's the problem, right? You want to convoy Tunis to Greece because it has the capability to
Yeah.
attack Austria later.
Why would you like to have an army in Greece instead of your fleet, mister?
No, I want the army in Greece because I want to keep the fleets available to do stuff, right? Because Army Tunis
Oh,
is not going
oh,
anywhere
come on! You gotta
anytime.
keep the pitch, the real pitch. I want the army in Greece because the army in Greece can get convoyed to Smyrna just using one fleet, whereas trying to convoy to Smyrna via Ionian and Eastern takes two. It's more efficient tactically because Constantinople, if it cuts Aegean, then if the Aegean's convoying it, the cut doesn't work.
Oh my
You gotta
god.
stick to the plan. That's
I
what the
love
army
that
in
pitch.
Greece is for. Not for Serbia. Nope, it's for the convoy. You gotta keep thinking here. The pitch
That
does not work ever.
I mean it's an amazing pitch. It is completely BS, but it is an amazing pitch.
It's technically accurate, and the words that I'm saying mean something. But obviously, everyone hears you say it, and you're like, uh-huh, yeah. Then they'll just support themselves into Tyrolean. Anyways,
Okay, I did actually want to talk about one more thing in this east before we move on to the west. That
Okay.
is this Tyrolia to Venice move that you mentioned, right? This is a defensive move here. I am actually curious, would you ever play Trieste to Venice as Austria in this circumstance? Like, do you think that defensive move was necessary?
Uh, yeah. I would do it sometimes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could just kill Italy.
Yeah, yeah, it is that kind of move that completely destroys Italy, right? If it works. You just
Yeah.
get a unit into Venice, and because Naples has moved into Ionian, you get to walk it straight into Rome, and then on the next turn build Army Trieste and support that into Venice as well. And
Or
then
even
Italy
just
is just
follow it
dead.
into Trieste. It's yeah, no, it's one of those moves that if you don't cover it, like if Austria bets you're moving to Bohemia, and if you do move to Bohemia, you have been eliminated from the game as Italy in O2. It's all over.
Yep.
I think covering it's very reasonable here.
Yeah. Alright. Well, that is the East covered. Shall we have a look at the West? What are your
Yeah,
thoughts here?
I don't like the self bounce in Burgundy at all. At all, 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 at all. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it with a passion. Self bounces look fancier than holding with two armies, but they're just holding with two armies. It's terrible. Don't do it. Why did you self bounce here? Why not support yourself into Burgundy?
Yeah, I we I should clarify this, right? Because I have actually seen because since we've done more of these videos, I have been chatting to a few people about their tactics in games and stuff when they've just sent me stuff to look at. And there have been a few self bounces I've seen where people are doing a self bounce because they think that it's a good technique just to use in general, but a lot of the time it doesn't accomplish anything, right? In this circumstance, it's not really accomplishing very much because Paris isn't a center you need to defend. If you were in Marseille and the Italian was in Piedmont here, yes, I could see the self bounce being reasonable because it lets you defend Marseille. But here, it is just a way of saying, I'm going to sit back and let you guys decide what's going to happen over here. I'm not committing to any attack whatsoever on anyone. Uh, which can be a decent playstyle. It's certainly not my preferred playstyle, right? Especially not in a 1908 game. You gotta get
And,
moving quickly.
and credit to France, it does technically stop Germany from moving into Burgundy, right? It does accomplish that. If Germany had moved into Burgundy, that move would have failed.
Hmm.
Okay. But you gotta do more, I think. I argue that supporting yourself into Burgundy and then supporting yourself into Belgium from Burgundy works very similarly to make friends with Germany, but also you can maybe take a center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, like, just looking at these moves, if Munich to Ruhr wasn't ordered here, if that had done anything else, I would be going this is a Western triple, right? Because the moves are very Western triple. Portugal to Spain south coast, Brest to Mid Atlantic Ocean, so pivoting to be able to attack Italy, although still staying in position to be able to jump at England, right? England going up north into Norwegian Sea, and taking Belgium seemingly with the agreement of both of the Western powers, because neither of them contest it, and Germany pivoting up to Skagerrak to attack Sweden, presumably, although you would expect it to go to Baltic rather than Skagerrak. Uh,
Yeah.
no, 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 okay, Skagerrak is better because you assume that Norway is being taken by Russia, right? Um, Here. So it all looks very Western triple, except the Munich to Ruhr move. The Munich to Ruhr move feels like it's putting pressure on Burgundy, which you wouldn't expect in a Western triple. But
Yep.
France has the capability to defend it. They have 3 units on Burgundy, so they have no issue there whatsoever unless North Sea goes to English Channel. So, like, maybe it's still Western triple? I don't know. What do you think?
I would be surprised if this were a Western triple.
Hmm.
Yep.
Why?
Because Munich is in Ruhr and Denmark is in Skagerrak. I don't think Denmark goes to Skagerrak in Western triples. I think Denmark goes to Baltic in most of those situations. Or
Hmm.
Kiel goes to
Kiel goes
Baltic
to
in most of those
Baltic. Yeah,
situations.
yeah.
Yeah. Just you want to be able to make pressure on St. Petersburg from the south. You want to be in Bothnia for that a lot. And like having Baltic support Denmark into Sweden reduces the pressure on England on the sea, lets you convoy to Livonia whilst moving into Bothnia. It does a lot. Whereas being in Skagerrak is a like, hey, I have my choice here. Like, as Germany, if France was in English Channel, I can use Denmark to take North Sea while Skagerrak helps Russia, or I can do whatever. And then being in Ruhr means I can attack France if England wants to do that. So I think this is I would be surprised if Germany in this position is planning on working with France and England. I think Germany is going to pick one of the two of them and then fight. And I think France's moves are very normal, right? Just standard France. You can do whatever you want because you're France.
Yeah.
And then England is being somewhat committal to the north, but not really committal because they convoyed their army into Belgium. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is just the West making very standard good moves. Like, I think for a Western triple to be a Western triple, it would involve Berlin and Munich moving into Prussia and Silesia. Then I say, all right, we got a Western triple.
Yeah, that's fair. I did also just like think, yeah, absolutely. The move to Baltic is about would be about putting pressure on Russia. Another really important thing that the move to Baltic does that this move to Skagerrak doesn't is free up Denmark to do anything else this turn, right? And that anything else would be tapping Sweden to make sure that England doesn't lose Norway, or if England does lose Norway, you get into Sweden. The fact that they're not doing that does indicate that Germany is staying on the fence for the moment and making sure that they haven't chosen a side visibly yet, which would indicate that they're willing to go against England or Russia. Depends which they feel is best for them next turn.
Yep, and I love it. I think that's a great order set. I'm a huge fan,
Yep.
but not Western triple.
Yeah, completely fair. Is there anything else you want to talk about here?
Nah, let's see it.
All right, fall 1902.
Okay.
Just Belgium to
Let's.
Yorkshire is the first thing that I
Yeah,
look at. Um,
Belgium to Yorkshire, and then Norwegian support holds North Sea, right?
yes.
That'd
S
say, oops, I'm scared of Germany. Yep, I don't like this.
yeah, that is saying that Germany's move to Skagerrak was not something planned with England, right? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and this evac from Belgium is just funny because, of course, you committed to 2 units moves to getting it there on the turn before, and now you're back to exactly the same position on this turn. But I think it's actually a really good move here, right? Because if you know you're going to lose Belgium anyway, and you know that you're going to be attacked by France, for example, and they're probably going into Irish Sea. They didn't end up going into Irish Sea, but they're probably going there. Then you need to get that army home. And if it gets blown up here, then you don't get to rebuild it because Russia is taking Norway off of you.
Yep.
So
I love how certain you are, right? That after France has a fleet in Mid-Atlantic Ocean in spring of '02. Yep, that's going to Irish Sea. Yep, that's where that fleet's going.
well, okay. So this is only
Just
if
gonna
you're
play
assuming
England
that
and
they're
attack you.
working, that they're going to attack you, right? It
Next time I play
is.
England against you as France CaptainMeme, I'm just gonna attack you. I'm moving London to English Channel every turn for the entire game, and then I'm
Okay.
gonna convoy into Belgium. I'm gonna concede Norway to Russia, and I'm just gonna kill you as much as I possibly can, because that's absurd.
Right. So there absolutely was the possibility of Spain to Western Med, Milan Ocean to North Africa here, right? And going after Tunis. In fact, it would have guaranteed Tunis given the moves that we see here because Italy vacates Tunis and goes to Greece.
Yeah,
Whoa. Um,
yeah. We'll see the south. We'll talk about the east in a second, though. We're still focused on the west and this convoy back to Yorkshire.
but sorry, I'm talking about the convoy back to Yorkshire with the thinking that if you are knowing that France is going to come for you, right?
Yes.
Then it's an amazing move. I really like this move. Uh, if you think that France might be on your side, yeah, maybe it's not. It's not as great of a move. But clearly, France wasn't on their side here, right? Holland
Yeah.
supported Picardy to Belgium, so I
And
mean
clearly,
Picardy
Germany
wins.
was like a little bit on their side, right? They weren't support holding Russia and Norway um or trying to attack North Sea. And so England could, if England had seen all of these orders, right, England could have done a lot better on this turn.
Yeah, you could have just entered North Sea support Belgium hold.
And Barents support Norwegian to Norway, or Norwegian support Barents to Norway, either way. And you'd actually be
Yeah.
building.
I'm actually really surprised by Norway to Sweden. I'm really surprised by the Russian orders in general. There's too many holds here, right? Sevastopol and Romania both holding is insane. You want to throw a support hold at least. Uh,
Yeah, you want to throw a support hold at least, but also I think it's insane that you're supporting Aegean into Constantinople here.
yeah. Uh, and
And then Sevastopol hold? I
yeah,
missed
yeah.
that. It didn't
Okay,
even move to
sorry.
Armenia.
Sevastopol needs to be moving to Armenia here. You need to get something.
Yeah.
Like, even if you want to be bold, you could just convoy straight into Ankara and hope, which would have actually worked here. But you
Yep.
can't just hold it in Sevastopol. That's not gaining you anything, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, if you're trying to 100% maximize the chance that Italy and Austria go to war after Turkey dies, um, I think a solid way to do that is to not take any of the Turkish centers and then have them fight over it. But you also kind of need to let Italy get as much as Austria, which I guess happened actually, because Austria lost one. Ah, I take
yeah.
it back. I like this a lot more. They're gonna fight after, and you're just gonna pick up the pieces. Nah, this is great
Sure.
as Russia.
I I
Yeah.
I hate it so much. I don't want to be sitting back and letting other people get my dots. Well, not my
Yeah, but
dots, but dots that are
they'll be
rightfully
my
mine,
thoughts
right?
later. No, 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 that'll be okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
um, fair. I
I
guess.
love it. Wow, I am such a fan. That's a move. That's eye-opening. This subfold.
Hmm.
Wow.
I'm still not a fan. Well, if you're holding it, throw a support hold on Romania at least, please.
Eh. No, you trust Austria. Like,
Like,
honestly, what else are they doing with their units this turn? Like, they're not attacking Romania.
this is just a trust exercise then? It's
Yeah,
like saying, look how much I trust you, I'm not going to enter a support hold.
yeah. No reason. I don't need to do that. We're
There
buddies.
is no alliance that has ever been solidified by someone not throwing a support hold on something.
No, that drastically weakens the alliance because every turn they're allied, they're just gonna be saying, "Man, are they not gonna support hold that center? Can I just take it?"
Exactly. It's like the
Yeah, but most people have more self-control than I do, meme.
it's like the fleet St. Petersburg south coast of Finland opening, right? The thing that you're like, oh, I'm gonna make myself seem like such a great ally to Germany if I take away my ability to attack them if they bounce me out of Sweden, and then they bounce you out of Sweden because you don't have the ability to attack them if they do that.
No, it's even worse because then
Uh,
your fleet is useless and oh yeah, no, I love the St. Petersburg to south coast of Finland is just top tier. Oh yeah.
But yeah, this
Um,
is a similar situation because you're saying, okay, I trust you so much, I'm gonna let you stab me whenever you want to. That's how
okay, look,
good
if this
buddies we are.
wasn't on the top board, right, if I'm
Mhm.
ever getting like with these submissions like for the people that come and that ask me for advice about the diplomacy game, they should support Hold Romania.
Yes.
Absolutely. On the top board in the finals of a tournament of the Diplomacy World Championship, if they're on that board, they can do whatever they want. I'm going to call it a good move.
Fair enough. I don't know, I'm like. in combination with the other moves on the board, I'm so confused about what Russia is doing here. Right?
Dude,
Moving
is
to...
that where you want to be?
What, just
Nobody's
confused?
attacking you. Yeah, nobody's attacking you, and everyone's like, what? Scratching their heads, trying to figure it out? That's great. Ignore the fact that
Fair.
Germany took Sweden from them.
Yeah, but, like, Norway to Sweden, what? Are you hoping to bounce Denmark to Sweden? Do you think that's going to be unsupported if it's,
Yeah.
if, like...
What if they were like getting
I
supported
guess
into
they
Norway?
could have, yeah, so double supported Barents to Norway or something, and so this is the
Yeah,
attempt to bounce that out.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of reasonable in that circumstance, actually.
Now, I probably would have also followed up with St. Petersburg to Norway, um,
Yeah,
just in case. But hey,
but actually, if you know England is going in from Barents like this, maybe you don't even
yeah,
want to order St. Petersburg to Norway. Because if
yeah,
both
that's
of these
true.
go,
I'd
this
love
is
it.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you'd much rather let them in the Norway from Brents rather than bounce them out. Look, see, look, this Russia is great. I'm a huge fan. Much respect.
Okay,
And then
another
war's not a
question. What are
solution.
they doing in
Oh yeah,
Silesia?
dude, they took Sweden from me. I gotta make their lives a little annoying,
uh,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. That unit's not going to gain anything. These aren't going to gain anything down here either. If you just
Yeah, but
told
it might
them
be annoying to Germany, right?
this up
Like
here
if
isn't
France,
gaining anything either. Where are they
yeah,
gaining centers?
they're gonna gain position against Austria later.
you, okay, yeah. This is the problem, right? At a very high level of diplomacy play, slow play is absolutely a great strategy, even in short time limit games, which is
Yeah.
really difficult for me to comprehend because I hate slow playing games. Um, this can absolutely work, but I am going to get really frustrated if they keep doing stuff like this. Just because this is not a strategy my brain is capable of comprehending very well.
Once they start dying, it starts looking really dumb.
Yes. Basically, if it works, it looks like genius, and if it doesn't work, you go, how the hell did they end up on the top board, right? But the reason that they ended up on the top board is that it is genius if it works. So
Yeah, if you're trying to win the board, right, you can't get everyone to coalition you in '03. So being a reasonable power, right, you're on 6 centers. You're doing okay. I'm a huge fan. I'm excited to see Russia's play because it might be enlightening. Russia, I'm very bad at Russia, in case anyone wants to put me on a power I'm not very good at. And so, this might be an educational experience to see.
mm-hmm.
I want to see builds.
All right, we didn't even really talk about the fact that Austria supported the convoy from Tunis to Greece after we
Yeah, I
said
mean,
that you should
I would
never
never
do
do
that,
it, but
right?
whatever. I didn't say you should never do it. I said I would never do it.
Right, sorry.
I couldn't find it within myself to make that happen. But maybe Italy made a good pitch. Slash, do it or I'll attack you is a pretty good pitch sometimes.
Well, never said like that, right? But kind of
I
nudge,
mean,
nudge, wink, wink. I may attack you if you don't do this. Kind of.
sometimes it's pretty explicit, and like sometimes it works. Some people need the bludgeon over the head.
This is the Ezio quote of the day. For your all your diplomacy strategic needs, sometimes someone needs a bludgeon over the head.
Man, you've been negotiating with those people who really need the push to understand I will kill you if you don't concede this. Like, I don't know. Sometimes that's and sometimes it works.
Oh my god. Alright, well, let's go to Winter 1902. This is a power rankings turn.
Yep.
So, we have Ankara off, we have Albania off, which I think is fair. I mean, any combination of these units coming off is kind of painful, but Albania is probably getting blown up anyway, so...
Yep, Albania is definitely the one to take off, and then any of the others I can see the argument for. I like the army in Syria because that's useful to give maximum flexibility. I don't
Yep.
know, seems good. Look, you're disbanding 2 and it's 0-2. You're gonna lose the game. It doesn't matter what you keep on.
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
nothing for it.
that's not always true. As Turkey, you have the best shot of coming back of any power, right? But not really in a 1908 game. It's so tough.
And not in
Um,
O2. In O2, it's too early. You're gonna die because when you're getting disbanding like this, it's because you're getting coalitioned and you can't break it that quickly.
mhm.
No, it's done. So Turkey's the bottom of the power rankings. That's boom,
Yeah.
done.
Thankfully, I had
That
them in
part's easy.
alphabetical order, so that is already the case.
Yeah. Now from here, England is definitely the second bottom on the power rankings. Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Um,
Just England had to disband. England's only on 3. There's a million fleets in the north. It's not looking great for England.
yeah. Are we going from bottom
Next,
up all the way?
yes. Next, I'm gonna put Russia, which pains me to say it, but I think that their position does not look good, which is exactly how they want it. I think they're likely to get Ankara, but I don't like that army build in Berlin. I'm worried that Germany is going to make progress against us. I'm worried that as Russia, Norway is going to be lost pretty soon, if not immediately. And I'm worried that I'm going to be under pressure. Austria might just take Romania from us, and they might end up in Galicia too, and that's not very good. So, yeah, I think Russia is going to have a bad time.
Hmm. Yeah, I am completely in agreement. I'm excited to get proven wrong if I do get proven wrong
I
about
think it'd be very cool.
yeah, but
All right.
yeah.
So next, I'm choosing between Austria and I think actually no, I think it's just Austria next.
Okay. You think Italy is much stronger? Well, just clearly stronger?
Clearly stronger is a tough way to phrase it like that, but I think Italy's position is better because Austria can only attack either Russia or Italy. And if Austria hits one of them, then I think the other is going to pounce. And which is part of why Russia's position isn't as bad as it looks. But because Austria can't really attack Russia here, because I think, yeah, you're going to lose a lot. I
Hmm.
think as Austria, if you go ham against Italy right now, you have a pretty good chance to make it happen.
Yeah, because Italy doesn't have that defense on Venice right now, right? You can take that this turn with
And
them.
Italy is probably going to be taking a GNC from
Yep.
probably Ionian, because they can take Smyrna.
So this is your
And
shot.
so
And actually, you can't take
it's a good
Greece
shot.
and disband Greece at the same. Like, you can't force that disband, right? If you're taking Venice. But you can at least force them out of Greece this turn. Um,
Yeah, assuming they're taking Aegean. Or you could just set up for it and go Serbia to Albania,
oh yeah,
Budapest to
that's actually
Serbia.
really good. Serbia to Albania, Budapest to Serbia, Bulgaria does whatever. Vienna to Tyrolia, Trieste to Vienna to Tyrolia.
Yeah.
Really
But
good
now look
move
at
set.
Russia's position, man.
And
Look
actually,
at how good
yeah,
Russia's position is.
Russia's position really encourages that as well because Russia isn't in a position to attack you at all.
Dude,
Or they
alright.
are if they really want to. They can go Romania to Galicia, Sevastopol to Romania, and Cilicia to Bohemia, and then you're completely screwed. But it doesn't look like they're gonna do that.
I'm flipping. I'm moving Russia's position up. Dude, look at that. You can't, like, what do you do? Right?
Are you sure
He's
you're
so
moving?
good.
Like, uh, okay, so Russia has a guaranteed take on Ankara. It's not 100% guaranteed, but they can at least
Pretty
convoy in,
close.
and then they have a really good position on Turkey in general. That
Yeah,
is
it's
pretty
close to
huge.
guaranteed. Yeah.
They also have the flexibility to jump on Austria if Austria goes all out against Italy this turn, which Austria
Yeah,
probably needs to do. Are we agreed on that?
sure. And then as Italy, if you expect Austria to go all out against you, you're gonna like Ionian to Adriatic and stuff, and then
Hmm.
suddenly Austria's position sucks.
Yeah, I can't justify putting Russia above Austria and Italy. Like,
All right,
come on.
all right, sure.
But
You can leave
I
him.
get
I
your
think Russia's
point.
gonna do so well here, dude. I'm such a. This is right. This is educational. This is how you get better at diplomacy.
Yes, you see unusual strategies that you look at and you say, "God, that's bad," and then you spend 20 minutes talking about how bad it is, and then you figure out, "Wait, this isn't bad at all. I'm just bad."
Yeah, this is the level up, and I am gonna love when Austria just kills him, and then Italy just kills Turkey, and then Russia's cooked. Because in almost every game, that's what I would expect to happen. Just
Mhm.
Italy keeps autopiloting, takes a G in, and then in the games that I'm playing in, Austria would kill Italy and Russia would then be bad and then be fine. But like in this game, it's gonna be better. No, I'm excited. All right, but then first place, it's still France. Yep.
Yeah, and Germany in second here. Wait, what
Yeah.
order are you putting Italy, Austria, and Russia in? I don't understand.
I was putting Russia in third,
Oh my
and
god! All
then
right.
I would put Italy ahead of Austria because I think that Austria in these situations when Turkey dies so fast is not very good. That's
Okay.
how I expect this game to go.
I am dubious on exactly how the East is gonna like be ordered in this, but I think your reasoning is good enough to put it like that. So, all right, first
Yeah,
is France for being France. Second is Germany for being France's ally.
God, I hate this. Yes.
uh, and then yeah, third is Russia somehow.
You
uh,
could hold with a bunch of units and it's still good. That's the takeaway. Hold all of your units.
oh my god. But didn't we spend the last video talking entirely about why you shouldn't hold units? This is
Yes.
oh my god. Alright, well, let's go to spring 1903. We've got our new power rankings here.
All
Everyone
right.
has seen them.
How many centers is Russia gonna lose this year, guys?
Oh no.
How many centers is Russia gonna lose? Oh,
Well, at
oh, he didn't
least
lose
one is
Norway.
going to be the answer. Um,
Okay, this could have been much worse. All right, I was
could
getting
could
worried
it
with
could
you
it?
laughing at me. Yeah, Norway could have been lost too.
Uh, God, just Sevastopol to Ankara failing is so sad.
Oof,
I
that's yeah. You wanted to convoy Romania into Ankara and then have Sevastopol move to Armenia. That would have been better.
that I mean it absolutely would have been here, right? But yeah, this is
Oh,
just a very painful turn in the south. We had predictions there kind of based on the fact that Austria wouldn't do this because Austria's back is now vulnerable to Italy.
yeah, but Italy did this in a very suspicious way and took Aegean from Eastern Med and Naples to Tyrrhenian.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean this will slow down France, but you're also not gonna, as Italy, you're not gonna get anything from Turkey or Austria anymore because you're not like Yeesh. slow.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if the support into Aegean was because Italy was wondering about exactly the same possibility we were thinking about with the attack on Greece being set up, right? So you end up with three on there and the possibility to just help out Turkey if you need to. Uh,
I guess you think we're gonna see Smyrna supported into Con? I don't.
I don't think so. No, but if Austria had position to attack Greece, then Italy would have
Sure.
had the supports on Greece to counter, right? Which is
Yeah.
something. Um, is this good for Austria? It gains a
The way that
center.
Italy played this out, I think this is good
Mm-hmm.
because I
Because
don't think Austria is gonna get collapsed on.
yeah, Austria needs to be a bit careful. I think just because the Italian attack possibility is still there, right? You can just slip Venice into Trieste here if Austria doesn't arrange like a bounce with you. And Italy has two on Bulgaria as well.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
just this Italian attack, right? There's too many fleets here from Italy. They only have two armies.
mhm.
Um, and so even if they're like taking Trieste, you're gonna be able to defend it pretty effectively still. Like the danger that, in my opinion, the danger is Austria is when Italy has mostly eliminated Turkey already with armies, and or has multiple armies on the main Italian peninsula, and so then you're actually in danger of losing a lot. It's part of why I think giving up Greece as Austria is so good. It mitigates the stab potential, because like Italy can only take really two centers at most, and like what do you get next year? Sure, you dot them effectively, but I don't think it's in this position as Italy. I don't see a good stab. I wouldn't ever stab.
That is fair. So, do you just jump full force at France? No, you kind of have to reposition and take Smyrna again, right? This is,
Yeah, and then I question what I'm doing with my life.
Yep. You kind of wish you'd gone in from Ionian to Aegean here and been a bit
So if I
more
wait
trusting
another
of the
turn,
Austrian.
yeah, and if I wait another turn, Austria might actually be able to kill me.
Hmm.
Like next year, Austria's going to be building again, and it's going to have more armies in Vienna and Trieste, and might take Venice from me. Like,
Maybe you do have to stab here as Italy just because if you don't, Austria is going to be able to murder you. No matter what, right? And they don't have any real other opposition at that point. They do have to break the Russian line, but there's nothing opposing them just going into Tyrolia and killing you at the same time. I feel like they have the position for that. Maybe I'm
sure.
overestimating it. It's tough.
Yeah, with Russia on the Black Sea, Austria's position is still going to struggle, and if you just put pressure on them, they might collapse somewhere. They can't defend everywhere.
That's true.
They are eventually going to lose.
Turkey is the
So,
weak point for Austria, right?
yeah, Turkey and then the Bulgaria and Romania is going to be a challenge to hold, right? As long as there's that fleet in Black Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, all right, all right. You convinced me. I'm glad I put Austria down low, because this is the problem, right? The attack looks so good, and then you just think about how do you make this work strategically, and it doesn't really work strategically.
Hmm.
Like, what if Italy just moves to Adriatic Sea? Like, what do? You cry.
You end up in pain, yes.
Yeah, right? You cry. If they find a way to get any dot from you, like support to Bulgaria or something, and then they build in Venice. Yeah, okay. Alright, Austria's position still sucks. That's great.
Well, it does depend, right? If Italy does choose to work with them for a turn, I think Austria's in potentially the second best position on the board. I just looked at the West. I was
If
gonna say best, but
you like France,
I like France a lot. Got the convoy off into Wales. Super nice, and into Irish Sea at the same time, and no attack
and
on
Germany is pushing to the
Germany.
east.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And Germany
yep.
even threw Belgium a support hold from Holland. That's when you know you've got an ally for life, when they enter Holland's support hold Belgium. Because no one ever does that and then attacks you on the next turn.
You're memeing, right?
Yes, I am absolutely memeing.
I'm glad.
I've seen that so often. Like the
Dude,
whole.
whenever they put in this support hold, I'm like, I changed my mind about trusting that person. Like, look, I'm so trustworthy. Yeah, no, I'm expecting to see Germany take Belgium next turn.
Yeah, exactly. I
That's
mean,
great.
Rohold sends a bit of a message. But yeah. So, do we want to go and talk about the West? Because we were talking about Italy. I've kind of jumped over to looking at France now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that France's position is great. You're love to see this. If you're in France, you're just like, all right, I'm gonna take North Atlantic Ocean now, and Liverpool's gonna fall, and London's gonna fall, and everyone's gonna die. And what a great game to be in as France, to kill England and then flood through the rest of the West.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's wonderful.
Can we make a note that this is quite trusting of Germany as France, right? If Germany had gone into Burgundy, you just lose Marseille with this order set.
Sure.
But
Yeah, I don't understand Gascony to Paris.
I guess Army Cilicia kind of made that unlikely, because you don't really want to move out of Berlin and Munich while Army Cilicia is there. Germany could have moved Ruhr to Burgundy, but that would have taken away their angle of attack on Belgium. So, yeah. This is a bit of an odd move into Paris. But it still worked out really well. Germany didn't go into Burgundy, so it was a good read.
Yep. Alright, I want to see the tactics in the south. I want to see if Italy does stab or not. I'm excited.
Okay.
I predict yes. I predict there's going to be a stab.
Right.
I think...
You've become a bit quieter, sorry.
I'm still quiet?
Not anymore. There we go. Okay.
Alright, great.
Right, so... Well, let's go ahead and see what the tactics are on the next turn. Fall 1903. It is absolutely an Italian stab. Yeah. Adriatic and Tyrolia is not agreed with Austria in any circumstance.
Adriatic's not. Tyrolia maybe, but Greece to Serbia cutting remains support for Romania.
Yeah, I didn't even...
That's bad.
Look at that.
Ooh, fun tactics. With Aegean to Con, and then Con to Ankh. That's a good way to kill Turkey, and then supporting Aegean to Con. Nice.
Yeah.
Shame it happened to happen while Austria was getting stabbed. That's an oof.
So this was Austria offering Italy a dot to say, hey, this is how you keep on par with me, right? We're gonna stick together and be friends to the end.
Yeah.
And Italy goes, yes, I'll take that dot. And the rest of them. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
So this is a really... It doesn't look like a massively effective attack, right? Because
sorry, what? Takes... Oh, yeah, to some people this might look massively effective. Sorry, I'm sitting here saying Austria is dead. This is over.
I just wanted to explain why that was here. Because you get the build from Constantinople, you put an army down in Venice, suddenly you've got Army Tyrolia, Army Venice, Fleet Adriatic, all surrounding Trieste, easy push in. You then get to push in on Vienna, and at the same time you've got Constantinople and Greece putting pressure on Bulgaria. Plus, Austria didn't even get the build because you cut Serbia here. So this is just a beautiful stab all around, even though it only takes one dot that was agreed anyway. Yeah. I really like this stab.
And Russia took Romania from the Black Sea, so Russia's not even going to contest you as much for Budapest and Serbia. Galicia's just going to exist to cut and tap, so you might even be able to get more.
I feel like I would want Russia to make progress if I was doing the stab as Italy, though. I would want them in Romania with an army so that they can help me wipe out Austria more quickly.
I think Austria's going to die plenty quickly. Plenty quickly. That's good grammar, I'm sure. I think Austria is going to die quickly enough. I would rather be the one getting the dots.
Fair. I'm wondering... I'm now looking at Cilicia to Bohemia. Because that's going to play an important part in whatever goes down here. And I have no idea what it's planning to do.
Support Tyrolia into Vienna, clearly.
I mean, you don't do that anymore, right? It might have been the plan initially to help Russia here. I think actually that was the plan here, right? Because Warsaw moved into Galicia, Cilicia moved into Bohemia at the same time. It was to assist Russia, most likely. But do you even do that anymore? Because Austria is now the lesser power here. If you want to keep things balanced, you actually try and prop Austria up.
What is Germany doing in this game?
It's a very good question. They didn't even give the support hull to Belgium this turn.
Didn't even take Belgium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what Germany is doing this game.
It is really odd. It could also just be slow play, right? They are in position to help impact things in the east now. They can help prop Austria up. They can also just go for Warsaw still, although they could have done that this turn. They chose not to. They're not attacking France, which is interesting, because I would have wanted, in this German position, to just ask for Belgium, or just take Belgium regardless, and say, hey, this is to keep us balanced, because France is France. It's super strong, and also France is positioned to take the English centres right now, and Germany is not. So Germany doesn't have those extra gains from anywhere, right? They kind of need Belgium as like, this is something I'm gonna get. But no, they just hold. Maybe just not wanting to appear to be a huge threat yet.
Yeah, but also doesn't look like they're doing anything useful or productive. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're just slow playing it. um, Sweden's under significant threat all of a sudden. St. Petersburg moving to Finland. And England actually manages to defend themselves quite well here. And I do really like this move from the Italian, forcing the French to come back and defend themselves a little. Because it is just... It's that kind of play that you need on a top board, right? That you need on a very competitive top board. Just poking at someone who's doing a bit too well to bring them back to earth, back down a little bit, and make sure they don't get to where they're going too fast. It's not an outright attack, it's just slowing them down. I am a bit confused as to why Irish Sea tried to follow into Mid-Atlantic Ocean. I guess...
I think if Irish Sea is never going to take Liverpool, and North Atlantic Ocean is covering Liverpool almost always here, and whether or not it gets supported is the only question, it would be pretty bad to be wrong about that. Maybe not. I don't know, man. You're okay if it ends up in Liverpool. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, I guess it's to try and prevent the situation where Mid-Atlantic Ocean gets into Western Med because Tyrrhenian Sea does something else, and England has been tipped off that this is going to happen and goes to Mid-Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, but then wouldn't she like to tap Liverpool and get a build instead?
Yeah, you absolutely would, actually. um, England and Portugal isn't that bad, right? I don't know, it's a bit
You
bad.
can clear it up, like especially if you move to Gascony, right? You build in Brest, Gascony to Spain, and then you're, I don't. It's, I wouldn't have been too worried about it, but it's totally fine.
It is also possible they put this in as like a screw you to the Italians if the Italians didn't do the bounce. If they agreed
Yep.
this bounce, right? And then he goes back on it and does something else. Then you end up in Western Med and Mid-Atlantic Ocean. You go, okay, I'm just
I
going
guess
to
I'll take
attack Tunis now.
Yeah. Yep, I like that.
Yeah.
Good theory. Very plausible.
Right. So, have we talked about everything here?
Yeah. Bounce in
Alright.
London. We didn't, I think, explicitly mention that, but
Yeah,
yep,
good
that's
good
important.
defense by England all around here. Good guess between London and Liverpool. So, into the winter of 1903. Armenia off the board. Interesting. I would have kept that army, I think.
Eh. You got one unit. Keep whatever you want. It's fine. It's not going to do anything.
Oh, come on, have a bit more spirit than that. You've got
Eh.
chaos in the east now. Everyone's attacking each other. You've got
Yeah,
your chance to get back into this.
if I have one thought as Turkey here, right? I'm gonna be like, hey, Austria, support me into Constantinople in the fall, please. Thank you. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, that is actually fair. I was wanting to keep Armenia for flexibility purposes, right? Because it can attack. If it goes back to Smyrna, it can attack Ankara or Kon. So you can go to either player. Hey, support me in, and I'll be friendly with you. But actually, you do just want to align yourself with Austria here, right? And get the support into Kon, because Austria can't do anything to you beyond that point. They can't. You just put down armies Smyrna after that point, and then knock them out of Ankara, and then you're back up to 3.
Yeah, but counterpoint, Austria is not gonna do that. Just they'd rather support themselves into con.
Yeah, I guess worst case you can just go flying off into the Ionian Sea and hope people don't take your center behind you.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I don't think too hard when you're down to one center like this. You're done. Don't worry about it. You can't win every game. It's Turkey.
yep, fair enough. Why did Austria get a build?
They were
Uh,
forced off in Romania.
oh, yeah, okay. And then Italy got Army Venice. That is completely, like, the best possible build here. Um, shall we go ahead to spring?
Let's see them.
Alright, spring 1904. Where do you want to look at first? Oh, Holland supported Belgium. He's back on side with the French. He is no
It's good.
longer passively aggressively holding it. He is giving the nice friendly support again. Uh, and that is the only thing he is doing outside of moving up to Prussia and Silesia, which
I
is
like
quite
that. He's gonna take
significant.
Warsaw.
Yeah, I mean, is he? Galicia can support hold Warsaw.
I think he's gonna take Warsaw.
Fair enough. Uh, right. So England gets a bit worse off on the guesses here. And this is a really painful. Is this a? It's kind of a painful misguess because Yorkshire is just a nicer place to be than Wales when you're trying to defend yourself, especially when the enemy gets an army into Liverpool. Because now the only thing that can cover Edinburgh is North Sea, and North Sea is like your most flexible unit usually, so you don't want to have that forced to cover a specific place. But this was
Yeah,
clearly intended to counter. What was it intended to counter? Why is Liverpool going to North Atlantic? It's trying to block Mid Atlantic.
if Wales supported English Channel to London, and Irish Sea went to Liverpool, and Mid Atlantic went to North Atlantic,
Yeah,
you'd bounce that order set.
I think I would have preferred Yorkshire support North Sea to London. Oh, right, he didn't want to leave North Sea, I think, is the problem here. So he didn't want that support
Yep.
to be successful. So he
And
went for
also, if Wales
the cut.
supported Irish Sea to Liverpool, it still cuts that as well.
That is true. Okay. Yes, this is a good counter to anything but the army move, which
Yep.
is unfortunately what happened. Um, I don't think he was expecting Mid Atlantic Ocean to Spain's south coast either. Leaving
Yeah.
Liverpool here is quite painful. Um, but he can at least bounce Liverpool in if Liverpool is going to Edinburgh. You can even let Liverpool get into Edinburgh knowing that and do something else with North Sea if you really want to.
Yep.
Yeah. It's quite a painful position, though.
Yep. I mean, France convoyed into Wales very early. You're gonna die as England. That's how it's gonna be sometimes.
Uh, right. So,
The South.
yep, the south is where the more interesting
Hectic,
stuff is happening right now.
electric boogaloo. So Austria did support themselves into Constantinople from Ankara, and Bulgaria wasn't cut, which is somewhat surprising. But then you look at the tactics and realize Greece had to cut Serbia in order to force Trieste. These moves from Italy were the
Yes.
only way to guarantee Trieste worked. So that's good by Italy.
Yep.
Um, the double retreats into Aegean and Ionian mean that Italy can double support hold Greece and not lose it. But because Austria gained Constantinople, there's not actually any progress being made by Italy against Austria here. It's just neutral, and we have to see what happens in the fall to determine if Italy can get something else. If we assume that Galicia has to support hold Warsaw in order to avoid losing Warsaw, which seems plausible, then that opens up a lot. For example, if Austria knows this, Austria might have Budapest tap Galicia. But then what if Trieste supports Tiroli into Vienna? Well, unclear. It's a fun little tactical fight.
Yeah, you can at least, like, as Austria, I probably just want to order Budapest. So, well, not Budapest support hold Vienna, but Budapest doing something that it wouldn't have been able to do if Galicia had been tapping at this turn, right? Because you know that Galicia is going to be support holding Warsaw, or you at least hope that.
Okay.
But
So that's going to be support holding Vienna, while Vienna, Serbia, and Albania coordinate against Trieste.
yeah, my initial instinct with support hold Vienna, looking at it again, maybe it's like supporting Albania up to Trieste and hoping that that goes through. Because if Italy is attempting to take Vienna or something, then you might be able to push that back up.
Italy takes Vienna from Trieste, though. Then you don't get anywhere.
Well, you get Albania back into Trieste in that case, right? If you do Budapest support Albania to Trieste, and
Yeah.
they go Venice into Vienna,
Yeah, but
Trieste into Vienna, then you
yeah, in
kind
that
of have
case, your
something.
order set best case is still staying neutral, right? Because if they ever right, they're never gonna have Trieste support Tiroli into Vienna, right? Like they're only ever gonna be trying to take Vienna from Trieste, I would expect. And so if they do that and you do my order set, then they get countered actually, and you go +1. Although you still can't build.
Yeah, it's important to note because Italy is going minus Constantinople plus Trieste, right? Or plus Vienna
Yep.
instead of Trieste. In this case, if you can get a unit back into Trieste and they end up with Army Tyrolia, Army Vienna, Fleet Adriatic, they're in a bit of an awkward position for covering Venice because they don't have the build to put a unit in Venice, right? They have to send something back, and that takes something away from attacking you for a turn.
Yep. I would
Probably,
order everything support Vienna down to Trieste. That's what I would do.
yeah. I think that's totally reasonable too. Is there a possibility that Italy might order like a try and support Trieste through to Serbia or something? No, surely not with Bulgaria where it is. I
Yeah,
like the
Bulgaria probably
tactics
cuts
here are
Greece.
complicated.
Oh yeah, because yes, Austria, you're at war against two people. Because all these things, like Russia's gonna make progress against you, and you kind of can't do anything about it. Which is why I'm trying so hard to find a way to actually make progress this turn, because starting next year, Russia's gonna have an army in Romania and a fleet in Black Sea. My holdings in Ankara, it's looking mighty slim. Bulgaria's gonna fall eventually. Right, Russia's position, chef's kiss. It's wonderful.
Speaking of which, as Turkey, do you now go to Russia and say, "Hey, please support me into Constantinople"?
Yeah. You go to
Um,
everyone. You go to Italy and say, hey, swing back into Constantinople. I'll build an army and kick him out of Ankara.
yeah, actually, Italy probably takes that here, right? Do you want Turkey back in the game as Italy? That it feels bad to do that.
Exactly. I don't know if I take it. I'd consider it. And then if I'm Russia, I would support Holding Con. Saying no.
uh,
Ah.
even while you're trying to put an army in Romania, like,
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Nope, Turkey, you don't get to build anymore. You're
uh,
done. Stay dead. Thank you.
uh, it's kind of that's actually something interesting to explore. Why that is, right? Why do you not want Turkey to get back into the game as Russia when you don't have any centers in Turkey? It's
I'm gonna
presumably
get them.
because you don't want an attack via Armenia here, right?
Yeah, why do the people making minimum wage in America fight against taxes on the rich? Because one day I'll be rich. Why do I not want Turkey back in the game? Because I'll get those centers. I will. I promise.
Oh god.
You just gotta believe me.
Right, so yeah, so
But honestly, that's how I feel. If
I
I'm
mean, there's
Russia
a
in this
pretty
position,
good.
I think I'll get those centers. I'm serious.
I mean, it is fair. You're right. There's no defense on Ankara right now. Austria has to send a unit back from Con to defend that, right? Because otherwise, you can just slip in there from Black Sea.
I
And
don't think they can.
everything there being a fleet means if you ever get the opportunity to send Army Sevastopol to Armenia or build an army in Sevastopol and then send it to Armenia, you have a pretty good shot at taking all of this. No one else has anything useful there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Although, I could just take Ankara
Yeah,
instead of support holding Khan.
that is true.
That's a more compelling argument. Because then I get a build.
Is the Austrian unit not just gonna cover Ankara? I don't know what's
If
going on
I
here.
tell Austria, hey, I'm going to support hold you in Khan because I want to see you survive, there's a chance I could convince it to hold.
I don't know. As Austria, I'd be quite suspicious of your saying, "Hey, I'm gonna support hold you in Con in this." Like right here, especially
But like,
since
I don't
that
want to let
leaves
Turkey
Ankara
back in the
open.
game.
Yes, but it leaves Ankara open, so you're just going to Ankara.
But yeah, but look, you man, you're at war against two people. You gotta trust somebody at some point.
What if that person isn't very trustworthy?
Well, we're playing diplomacy. Like it's a
Righto.
different game if you want a trustworthy ally.
Okay, shall we go ahead to the fall?
Sure.
Okay. Fall 1904.
All right. Well,
Well, Russia
look.
did get Ankara. This.
And Russia got Sweden. Russia's
Wait.
+2.
Oh my god, Russia.
Yes, I picked the right horse. Let's go, Russia.
Oh my god. Alright. Wait, okay, so first thing, most important thing on the map, Holland update. Is Holland supporting Holland Belgium? No!
No, it's
It's
tapping Belgium.
this
They're at
time.
war now. Oh God, what a war!
Oh my god. Okay, that's the Holland and Belgium update over. Let's go over back to Russia here. Russia going +2 is incredible, right? And England at this point, I think, realizes they are going to die or they are in serious trouble and probably can't win this board. So they're just going, screw you, Germany. You were the one who caused this by going into Skagerrak that turn instead of going to Baltic. Perhaps they'd agree to go to Baltic or something. So I'm just going to cut you and let Russia into Sweden.
So it might not be England giving up because Germany's not helping you, right? Russia is clearly not happy with Germany. If Russia gets more centers, maybe Russia will attack Germany, and maybe I'll get out of here.
That is true. And maybe Russia supports you into Denmark the turn after this. Which
Maybe?
is quite nice.
Yeah, but also it doesn't matter because France is in the Mid-Atlantic Ocean, English Channel, and Irish Sea, and you are going to be on 2 dots, and so you're going to lose Eddie in London in the next year, so it's not a great position to be in, and France is going to top the board like France always does in these stupid... whatever. Alright.
Well, I don't know. Russia is giving France a run for their money here. Like, really?
Yeah, but Turkey's back in the game because Turkey got supported into
Oh,
Khan. There's going to
Turkey
be an army in
did get
Smyrna, so
Italian
Ankara is going to get gone, and yeah.
Oof. Okay, I hadn't even looked at what was going on in the Austrian-Italy war here.
Yeah.
Wow. What is going on here? Hang on. So
It
there's
was amazing, guess, on both parts. What a fun tactical shootout.
there's a a double supported move of Albania to Greece here, and a it's a triple supported move of Greece to Albania, but one of the supports gets cut, right? The Trieste one. So these two end up standing off. Vienna gets into Trieste. Tyrolia gets into Vienna because it tries to cut it, and Vienna ends up moving. And then Italy chooses to take Trieste off the board. I assume because they have the rebuild there? Yeah, they must have a rebuild, right?
Well, they lost Khan and gained Vienna. So yep, they're neutral.
Okay, yeah. They do get the army build in Venice.
Austria's down 1 now.
Uh, so yeah,
Down 2.
just
Is Austria down 2? Minus Ankara? Minus Trieste? No, well, minus
minus
Vienna.
Vienna, yeah. Their fleet got blown up, so they're only -1 in this region, but it's still painful.
Yeah, they're only disbanding 1. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, man, good thing we put Austria below Italy, right?
Yeah. This is really painful. Yes, excellent guess on the Italian part on triple supporting up to Albania. There are so many ways this could have gone wrong. If Serbia moves, if Bulgaria moves, right, this is just... You're putting all your force into moving to a province that doesn't have a supply center in it. I guess destroying that unit is still a pretty good thing if you know that all the Austrian supply centers are going to be covered. All the Austrian home supply centers are going to be covered. So it wouldn't have been too bad if Greece had gotten into Albania, but losing the supply center there would have been really painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, excellent guess. So, what else is there to discuss here? Prussia to Livonia, Cilicia to Prussia. Thoughts on that?
No. Right, if you were so super confident that Galicia support holding Warsaw, which you were, this is just better. Because you blanked in the front. I'm surprised it wasn't followed up by Munich to Cilicia to get actual more units on the front.
Mm-hmm.
But still, increasing the guesswork is fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Russia's got to do stuff, but what are you disbanding here? Is Germany? Are you disbanding Holland?
That's a really tough question. I don't know what I'd disband here.
Yeah. Well,
you can't disband Holland, right? You can't disband anything on the French front because France is just going to win if they attack you and you're not prepared for it.
Okay. So, are the fleets on the French front?
No. So,
Okay.
maybe it's I mean, it kind of has to be Baltic.
Okay.
What
about Munich?
I don't like taking off Munich here. I think France just rushes you. Because France has a build, right?
France gained Liverpool. What are they building, though? You think they're building an army?
Maybe they're not. No, army doesn't make a ton of sense here, right? I don't know.
This German disband is brutal.
Really is. I think I take off Baltic. Do I take off Baltic? Do I just take off Livonia and walk back to my homeland? That feels even worse because that means that I'm...
And Russia wins.
Yeah, it also means that I'm not making any gains whatsoever anywhere, right? At any point. Like, leaving Prussia and Livonia feels like the right thing to do because it gives you a shot at expanding somewhere. You're not just defending a core. You're not going to win by defending a core. So... But they are the least useful units, right? If you gain anything over there, you're not going to be able to hold it.
Russia's +2, man. How do you get anything?
Yeah, maybe Livonia is just the right move. Take that off. Or take off Prussia and convoy Livonia back. It all feels horrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
What's your disband?
You need every unit. I quit the game. I resign. I'm done. I can't play this position. I'm too bad. I can't handle this. No, I would disband Holland, and I'd say, all right,
really?
Hey guys, stop France. I can't.
I guess it does force Italy's hand a bit, but like, what's Italy
Austria,
gonna do?
Make up. Yeah, you guys, France is gonna win. It's all over. Oops.
I mean, I can actually see that being an effective strategy, but I would not want to disband Holland because it would remove our possibility of seeing the Holland-Belgium update every turn, which I think has been crucial for understanding the relationship between France and Germany this game. No, I also just wouldn't want to take off Holland because I don't like doing stuff like that. It's so It's so painful. Yeah,
And it's like Poland is the thing, right? But to make everyone else deal with France because they kind of have to.
mhm.
I don't know. Baltic's great too. You kind of like it's one of those two in my opinion,
You
and
don't
neither
think
one of
it's
them feels
Livonia
good.
with double Russian
No,
builds?
no, I don't think it's Livonia.
mm. Yeah, I guess what are you gonna gain with the fleets? There's nothing you can gain. It just feels so bad everywhere. I don't know. I'm interested to see what he actually disbands.
Yeah, and how do you play this position as Germany here? What do you do? Because it looks very difficult.
Really, really difficult.
And we
Yeah.
get to take a look and then do power rankings, eh?
Yeah, let's go ahead to Winter 1904. Um, Alright, so Fleet Baltic off the board. Army London off the board. New fleet in Brest, so not an army to attack Germany or anything. Although I don't think that removes the possibility of an attack on Germany here. I think it's still possible. Army Smyrna for Turkey. Gonna be sad to see that as the Russian. Army Venice coming back on the board after that disband. And Bulgaria being taken off the board by Austria, which I think is maybe fair. You don't think that's gonna be holdable, or you want to focus your defense all on Trieste, but that is going to be now very difficult to defend Bulgaria, which means you'll probably have to take another one off after this year.
Yeah.
All right, power rankings. What are your feelings on this?
Well, France is gonna win the game.
You don't think
So
Russia has a shot? I think Russia's
no,
doing pretty well here.
I do not think Russia has a chance to win this game.
Okay. Do you want to explain that any further, or?
A little bit. So, first of all, I think Turkey is gonna be taking Ankara.
Mhm.
I think that's just going to happen. I think that Russia is under pressure from Germany still. Livonia stayed on the board. Baltic Sea got taken off, but Denmark is on the board still. Um, I think that France is going to kill England and then push through and then hit you in Scandinavia. This game's only going to 1908, so you're gonna lose Scandinavia. Like you're gonna lose Norway and Sweden. You can't hold it. And then England is gonna take Holland. And like England, this is the classic game where England just wins, or excuse me, France, where France just wins,
Yeah.
where France just keeps pushing through England into everything, and then you're done. Like you can't
Yes.
stop this.
The problem
If
is
Italy,
you need Italian assistance to do anything about this, right? And
yeah,
Italy is not in a position to help you right now.
and even if Italy does, like, there's an extra fleet in Brest, and this fleet in Brest, Mid-Atlantic, Western Med, like,
Yep.
slows Italy down enough. And because you don't need that, whatever, fourth fleet in the north. England only has two fleets, right? Irish Sea supports itself in the North Atlantic, or you even can take the London this year, or Eddie's, or both, and then you can still build and hold it down. Like, the war between Italy and Austria is so close that Italy can't afford to pull any units out to the west, because if Italy pulls back, then Russia kills more Austrians and then Russia wins. Like, how do you I don't I think France is going to win this game from this position 9 times out of 10. I think Russia is definitely second place, but I think it's a distant second because Livonia is too much of a pain to deal with. Turkey is back in. Ankara is going to be lost, and then Armenia is going to be annoying. Yeah.
Do you think there's any possibility that Italy, Russia just make a pact? Let's kill Austria as fast as possible. Let's do what we can against Turkey and try and kill them with minimal units, and at the same time just rush to the line as the two of us and hold back France. Because I think that's probably the best bet for stopping a France victory here.
Yeah, but I think in 4 years, France is going to be bigger.
Yeah, I
Right?
think
The
that's
game's ending
fair.
in 08. France is gaining Eddie, London, probably also Holland, probably also Denmark. and probably also Norway and Sweden.
I feel like Denmark is a bit of a stretch, surely, with Germany is not just going to roll over. Um,
Okay,
but
we'll see where France
yeah,
ends at the end of 1908.
10 is still a lot for anyone to overtake.
Germany
Huh?
disbanded the fleet in the Baltic Sea, right?
Yes.
How do you hold the Denmark?
It is tough. I mean, if Russia is support holding it, right, it's kind of tough for France to push through in time with enough
Yeah, if
stuff.
Russia can make peace with Germany and tell Germany, hey, I know you've been attacking me all game, and I know I just took Sweden from you, and I know I'm the highest center count. But if you turn around and defend France, I promise I won't hit you anymore, and I might just win the game by killing Austria.
Hmm.
And that pitch might work.
Yeah,
Ugh,
but no,
I
I
don't
see
think
your
it
point.
would.
I think France is far and away the favorite right now, which is
Yeah,
the idea. What about the power rankings below that point? So we have Russia in second. Who's in
yep. I
third?
think Italy is then third.
Hmm.
Because of what we mentioned, Italy does stand to gain a lot from Austria. And I think Italy might also gain from Turkey if Russia and Italy do the split you described. Italy is going to gain a lot quite quickly, and maybe Italy can gain fast enough that Italy can actually just take all of the Balkans and maybe even Turkey, and then get to like 12 centers, which might be enough to just win. And I think Italy still has the potential for that sort of explosive growth because Austria might just collapse. So I think Italy is clearly third after that. And then Germany clearly after that, but Germany's not gonna win. I don't see a line
Yeah.
that Germany ever wins. And then Austria. Actually, I'd put Austria ahead of Germany as far as a chance to win the game because the explosive growth can technically go in reverse, but not really. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, Austria's
Basically,
gonna
everyone
die
under third doesn't really have a shot. Is
in this board state. Yeah.
Yeah, with a 1908 end, there's just not enough time to turn things around, especially with France just being this strong. There's not a
Yeah.
when France is this strong, momentum goes a certain way on the board, and that is going to squeeze Germany's chances out of existence, no matter what else happens. Um,
Yeah.
so so I assume we're going France, Russia, Italy, then Austria. You said, and then
Yeah.
Germany. Then I would say Turkey, and then England. Right?
Yeah.
I think Turkey has managed to get back into a survivable position. It's still likely that it'll get killed eventually if Russia and Italy manage to get this alliance going, which I think is the most likely way to deal with this France threat. But it's certainly better than England's position right now.
Yeah. I think Turkey is a huge favorite to build this year. So
Hmm.
that's already a huge edge.
Absolutely. Uh, so shall we go to Spring '05?
Yeah.
All right, Spring 1905. So where to look at first? Okay, so England is a good thing to look at first, I think. Wait, is everyone just throwing to France? So England is going to Skagerrak, right? And Norwegian, which I think is
Yeah.
reasonable in England's position here. You're not going to win this game. You can just Janissary for someone, right? And England has decided to Janissary for France by the look of it. But Germany supporting England's Skagerrak and moving into Cilicia.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because he sees his only line of success as being, hey, I need to solidify a holding in Russia right now, or I'm never going to win this game. Which I think is
Yeah.
kind of reasonable.
But how do you stop France?
Yeah, I mean, France isn't moving, right? Oh, we missed the Holland update. Holland update, he's not supporting Belgium, but he is not attacking it either this turn. So they're kind of
Sure.
on the back to being neutral with one another.
Yep.
Yeah, but France is just making so much progress here. It's
Yeah. It's just, I mean, in the North Sea and North Atlantic Ocean, can walk into Eddie in London, right? Nobody else can stop him from just walking into London. And then he might not even take Eddie because it looks like England is just killing Russia and Scandinavia. So, I mean, look, I, this one's done. Well played, France. Good job.
Right. And yeah, the other thing is the people who are in the south, right? Russia and Italy haven't even managed to agree this thing that we were talking about of splitting Austria. Russia is going back to defend against the German threat. So Italy is having to take this fight by themselves. And I don't think
Playing
that's
very
fine.
well.
They are playing very well, but at the same time, Spain South Coast, Mid Atlantic Ocean, they are going to be under significant pressure on the Western Front in a second, and they don't
Yeah.
have the units to spare. So
Yep. 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 Yep.
yeah,
I mean, I think there we have it. I think let's go see the fall.
all right. Uh, I mean, I hate to just move on like this, but I do actually think you are correct. I think we should go straight to the fall here. So this is the kind of time where you think. So on a top board, it very rarely happens that people just concede to a win before the final date because the final, there's so much that can happen in a diplomacy game. But this is almost the position where you would do that because of how much France is dominating. If the rest of the board can't get its act together, this is nothing.
Yeah, and it's
is
like we're gonna
going
see
to
the
stop them.
exciting thing, right? Like, I mean, they just concede, right? We'll see. We can go on. Let's see what
Okay,
happens.
so fall 1905. Western Med, North Africa are attacked by France. Italy does manage to get into position to defend against it in time. So they have to do this, right? Otherwise, they lose Tunis on the next turn. They can't focus on getting the build and use the build there because they wouldn't be in time. The build would be one space away. But they do still get to build. No, one build. Right?
Plus
Because
Bulgaria, plus Trieste, minus Vienna. Yeah, +1.
yeah, which is progress. Although Fleet Bulgaria is tenuous progress, it
Still
is.
progress.
I I will say I think Turkey just supported them into Bulgaria, right? And then they supported Russia into Con, which is just rude. But it is probably what's best for them because they need Russia to help them against Austria. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, if Turkey is trying to win the game, which seems likely, Turkey would probably build a fleet in Smyrna and then try to take Bulgaria from them next year. So
yep.
you don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Uh, and Austria manages to take Romania off of Russia. Which, are they going to get a build here?
Russia lost Warsaw and Romania. Austria bounced out of Budapest successfully, gained Vienna and Romania, only lost Budapest. No, they lost Bulgaria.
But they also got a unit blown up in Albania in the spring, so they are going to be able to build in Budapest.
Yes, they're building, even though they're not +1. Yes, accurate.
Yeah, I mean, Romania feels like a tenuous province to hold. It's surrounded by Russian units here, but just having those three units on the front line against the Italian is going to be pretty useful for them, and also pretty horrific for the Italian to deal with.
Yep. And then we see Germany pull back. And we see Russia not take Warsaw, which I am seeing as a sign that Russia understands the need for a coalition against France right now. And Russia's like, all right, Germany, you took Warsaw. I hate you for it, but also I need you.
Mhm.
Build a fleet in Kiel. Don't let France take everything from you.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this is exactly what the board needs right now, right? Um, in order
But is it
to
even
stop the
enough?
French.
I don't even know if it's enough. Although France holding in Gascony instead of moving to Burgundy is very nice.
I wonder
I don't
if
understand that while you're convoying into Holland, but
are you trying to set up a convoy to somewhere? Surely not, right? No, there's no way useful you can convoy to from Gascony now. Uh,
I
you
agree.
could only send it to Tunis, and that's not a good province to convoy to. It should be in Burgundy. This is inexcusable. I
Inexcusable.
Okay, so no, I think the reason that it didn't go to Burgundy is probably because he had some kind of agreement with Germany that, hey, if you keep Burgundy clear, I will keep being your friend. And, you may as well take that offer when you're in this dominant of a position, right?
He took Holland.
Yeah, that is a curious question. No, like, was that offered? I assume not. Uh, Speaking of which, sadly, this will be the end of our Belgium-Holland updates. It ended on an attack, so clearly signifying some kind of mistrust between the two, which was justified as it turns out, as Yorkshire gets convoyed off the British Isles. Um, so yeah, no, I think Gascony should be in Burgundy here, but
It's
France
very
is
minor. Probably won't matter too much.
yeah, France is in a pretty dominant position anyway. Should be noted that the way France has gone about this now, they have put a lot of trust in England continuing to be on their side. Because if England decides they want to defend Edinburgh or try and retake Liverpool here, slip into Clyde and then go to Liverpool, France can only punish them by taking one supply centre of Edinburgh and London, and in order to do so, they have to vacate North Sea. So they have to be pretty certain that England is going to stick with them here for this to make sense. But yeah, they are making progress. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm excited to see the builds.
Alright. Winter 05. Oh god, I didn't realize Russia was disbanding that many.
Yeah, Russia lost 2.
Warsaw, Romania, yeah.
Yep. Also technically Ank, but plus con, so doesn't really matter there.
So Galicia off, Prussia off. Keeping the back line, which is fine, I guess. Keeping Moscow on seems smart. It is clearly not trusting of the German, but I think you're allowed to not be trusting of the German when they attack you.
Yeah. Plus, you want to give Germany as much space as possible, so
Yeah, I'd have been
Russia
tempted.
off.
I'd have been tempted to keep Galicia instead of Moscow, if I was going 100% in with the German, because then I can focus on taking Romania, right? But I think the Russian is keeping Moscow as a message of, yes, I'm letting you keep Warsaw, I'm not letting you take anything else. This is the terms. You can have Warsaw and that's it. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Army Rome?
Army Rome is really curious. I would have. I mean, you can't. Because Tyrrhenian Sea and Ionian Sea are now trapped on Tunis, right? You can't convoy out via Ionian, which is what I'd really want to do here. Build Army Naples and convoy into Greece. And if you build a fleet in Naples, it has to coastal crawl to get to Adriatic, which also feels really slow and not useful. Maybe fleet Rome to move up to Tuscany and then to Leon. That's probably the best thing, right? But it's still... Yep. Is Army Rome just to try and push the attack on Austria as quickly as possible? I guess it has to be.
I guess. Just doesn't feel like you're gonna really do anything, because you gotta support hold Trieste, so...
Yeah. Do you just
I don't
let
know.
Trieste go and move up to Bohemia, Tyrolia, Venice? Get the retreat into Albania and then hope you have enough pressure to retake stuff? It's so difficult. This is like the difference maker that having France come to your border has made to this this fight, right? Because if Adriatic is still there, if you have something to defend Greece, this is looking really good. But suddenly it's looking really, really bad now that you've got those two fleets out of action. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? Sorry, go on.
Tactically, No, you could just nope, nope. I have nothing. Nope. Sorry, no idea. I was thinking about the convoy into Tunis being maybe tactically relevant because you can move from Tyrrhenian, but also you don't have to risk vacating Tyrrhenian to then lose it right when they are in Tyrrhenian, Western Med, and North Africa. But it's like, why not just support into Tunis from Ionian?
Oh, that's super interesting, actually. I think that might be it, because Ionian can protect Greece in its current state. You can just abandon Tunis on the next turn and go there. Whereas if you go in from Ionian here, and with the support, which is like the necessary move, if you want to make sure that Western Med can't just slip into Tyrrhenian, then you have to risk Ionian not being there anymore after the spring, and that could be really painful if you
I
do
would
need
assume you're
to.
just bouncing though, because he's attacking Tunis with strength 2.
Yeah, but there's always the possibility that he doesn't, right? Because
Okay,
as France, I think there's some. I don't know.
and if you're convoying it, why not just build a fleet and then move into Tyrrhenian and move into Tunis?
Yeah, that is that is just better. I suppose the reason would be that if you get bounced out on the convoy, you can still then move it up to Venice to cover, right? Um, if you're
Question
just
mark,
letting
question
them
mark.
slide
It
into
mostly
Piedmont.
doesn't matter. It is a question mark though. I'm not sure what to do with this build.
Yeah.
Oof, Russia. Sad life. All right, let's go see '06, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Spring 1906. Oh, the convoy does happen over Tyrrhenian Sea.
Sure.
Um, and it is a bounce, so Rome stays there. Interesting maneuvering from the Italian. Like, I'm surprised the Austrian didn't do anything this turn. They tried to take Bulgaria, maybe forgot the support on that, although it was getting tapped anyway, so it wouldn't have done anything. And then just mutual support hold. I wonder whether Italy had told Austria here that they were going to go all out against France or something, and that they could have peace.
Yeah,
And Austria
I think that's
believed
the
it.
line.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, you kind of have to assume something like that's happening.
I. Austria tapping Bulgaria. Okay, so that would make sense in that why Austria didn't support the move into Bulgaria. They did tap them Bulgaria, so they were intending to let Turkey get the third supply center here, which is, I think, actually a good move on Austria's part, because Austria has no coastal supply centers anymore, right? Uh, Turkey will harass the people with coastal supply centers, so you want that to happen now.
Yeah.
But Austria's still just a bit out of it. Um, yeah. There anything that stands out to you here?
I'm surprised with the tactical choice they went with in the north for both parties, and it worked well for the east, the Russia Germany alliance. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I I don't understand France's tactical choices here, right? Holland holding, Belgium support, Holland hold, right?
Yeah,
Why not support yourself into Ruhr?
it's a good question. It is maybe just, again, the kind of negotiation of I'll let you have this game if you don't attack me, right? Um, you can never really predict what results that kind of negotiation will have as a commentator, or you can't really say whether that happened or not, right? But that kind of thing happens a lot on this kind of top board. Uh,
Yeah,
I think
looks
that
weird.
might be it.
Looks very weird.
You've gone a bit quiet again, by the way.
Yeah, I Mike moved away from my mouth for a second there.
Yeah,
Um,
that's totally fine. It's like you were getting a bit more distant from the game the more you you think France has won, and so checked out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, France is. I think France is still not contestable very easily right? But getting knocked out of North Sea is certainly something. Um,
Yep.
the
It is looking less likely that France will take Norway and Sweden and Denmark by '08, especially with the retreat into London as opposed to into Helgoland. Um, like
yeah,
if I'm France in a position like this, I feel like I just need to declare war on everyone, and I will win. Um, right, I'm gonna take so many centers that they just can't stop me. But this like slow plotting approach has let right trying to break Kiel, Ruhr, and Munich. Um, you don't on land, right? Like they just double support hold Ruhr, and you never get through. So you needed to retreat into Helgoland in order to break this line or take Ruhr. Like if France had taken Ruhr, right, then you take Munich, right? Guaranteed. Unless
yeah,
Tyrolia support holds. But unclear if Italy's gonna have time to do that and stuff. And so okay, and then if you get into Helgoland also in the retreat, like I don't understand why France isn't viewing those dots as so critical. It doesn't make sense to me.
I wonder whether France just thinks that 10 is enough and that no one can get there.
I mean,
Like 10
that's
being
not true.
what they have plus Edinburgh and London. Yeah, I mean, the biggest contestants for that would be Italy and Russia, right? I
Yeah,
feel like both have a shot at that. Maybe less so Russia now that Turkey is back in the game.
yep.
Um,
But still a shot. Austria's got 4 centers, and Warsaw is +5, minus Con is +4. But all it takes is Germany to say, you know what, Russia, I'd rather you win than France. Here, take Berlin. And then Italy, obviously, not losing Tunis. If Italy gets Vienna, Budapest, Serbia, like Italy's at 10. I don't think like 10 is a scary number to have. Like, yeah, the rollback means France probably wins because France is gonna be bigger for longer, but why not try to get to 13?
mhm.
Like, I just like why not tap Ruhr with strength too, right? Tap like why not hit it? Like, I
Yeah.
do not understand.
See, my instinct is that this must be down to negotiations of someone, well, probably Germany, saying, "Hey, if you do this, I will throw." But I think if you do that, Germany doesn't have the capability to throw because you have enough centers to deal with that. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
we also have to think that these people are having 15 minutes a phase to deal with that, and I think it might go down to 10 later on in the game. I don't know. Like to calculate all these things, and when you hear a threat like that and you're in a leading position, you do your instinct is to make sure that that threat doesn't occur, right? That that person isn't going to throw. Um, but looking at the board here, well, as we can, I think they could have just kept pressing even if there was a threat to throw at this point. Um,
I think if I'm the one taking all of your dots, you can't throw to anyone except me.
yes. Whereas if I leave you the dots, then you can throw to people, alright? um,
Yeah, I don't know. It's still France is still gonna win. I'm confident. So I don't think it's the end of the world. But it's like there's chances now for other people to slip something through.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, not really. I think we've covered basically everything that happened on the board. Russia getting into North Sea is pretty big.
Yeah, they might get
Oh,
into
Russia
Eddie.
Russia gets Edinburgh for free here, right? Well, in
Yeah,
exchange for Norway, so it's not for free. But they do get into Edinburgh unopposed if they want to.
yeah.
Right, so let's go to fall 1906. And they do indeed get into Edinburgh unopposed. Although they give France North Sea back in the process.
And they lose Sweden because
Ooh,
Germany's support held North Sea instead of support holding Sweden.
ouch.
Oof.
Yeah, That's a big one, I think.
Yep,
Because England is fully working with France at this point, right?
yep.
Um,
So England's not down at all. And then disbanding Sweden, just saying, all right, nope, we're done. Okay, tactically, France didn't support Hold Holland?
they did support Hold Holland, they just held Holland
Oh,
itself. Um,
Burgundy support held Belgium, and that's the line.
yes.
Got it. Yep. Okay, cool. I thought I saw Belgium support hold Burgundy, and my eyes got all big. I'm like, huh? All right, great.
Yep.
That makes sense.
No, thankfully we do, even when both Belgium and Holland are controlled by the same power, we still get the Belgium-Holland update of Belgium support holding Holland and Holland not support holding Belgium. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is just actually entering the moves that matter in this
Yep.
case.
Yep. Technically, Holland support Belgium might have mattered, but probably not.
Oh yeah, because North Sea could have gone in or something.
Yep. Munich cuts Burgundy. North Sea hits Belgium with support from Ruhr. That would have been so funny. Um,
Yep, and then you just
insane.
let
You'd never
England
do
build.
that.
Oh my god, you let England build an army and you say, "Hey, help us against
Go take
France because you can
Liverpool.
take Liverpool now."
That'd be funny. But yes, so that's the North. England's doing a great job of throwing to France. France gained London, didn't lose anything, building something else, presumably another fleet. Um, maybe an army to get convoyed up. Nah, just another fleet. And then Russia's losing a lot. Russia retook Warsaw,
Yeah, do you think that
and
was
then it
with
retreated
agreement?
to Livonia.
It can't be with agreement if it retreats to Livonia, right? That's like,
Yeah.
hmm.
Ooh, and then anchor it to Smyrna. That's to build a fleet, Inc. That's the force Black Sea. Russia's cooked.
Yeesh. Yeah, that is painful for Russia. And really good news for Italy, actually. I think,
Yep.
like, insanely good news for Italy. Although, I don't know if Italy can get to the count in time. They still need to cover Greece. And just breaking this Austria is really hard.
Yep. You only have 3 armies that are on the front line, able to fight against the 3 Russian armies. And
Austrian ones, yeah.
yeah, the rest, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
So
need
it
that
might happen,
Russian
but
army Romania to help them, right?
yeah, I'll do it. It would help a lot.
But it's not doing anything.
No.
uh, right. So,
Yep.
yeah, just
Build
continued
some power
attacking.
rankings.
Let's go ahead to winter and do some power rankings. So, Galicia off the board, that makes sense. That's the one that's not in a supply center.
We're
Ruhr
off
off
the
the board.
board.
So
Throw
that's
into France. Yep.
again, yeah, indicating hey, Livonia is the Germany just got stabbed by Russia, and so is
Big ol'
keeping this.
F you to Russia is throwing to France. Good job, France, not fishing off Germany. Got you the win.
Yes.
Fleet Ank is good. Army Smyrna, yep, Sev, yep. All right. Cool. So power ranking, France won, everyone else last. Fast
Okay.
forward, we're good.
Uh, wait, we gotta do it properly, right?
I
So
okay. I pick whatever order you pick. The order supply count. Fine, done.
okay.
France, Italy, Russia, Germany, Turkey, Austria, England. Fine. Real power rankings. I don't care. It's France won, everyone else last. No one else is gonna win this game.
Okay, I'm just gonna move everyone down to the bottom. I
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're completely right. This is just like, you know, so there are some scoring systems that incentivize you keeping the rest of the board as divided as possible while you advance, right? Like summer squares. This is the masterpiece of a game for looking at that. Because, like, this is the most divided board you'll ever see compared to this strong of a France. Like, France is so clearly ahead here. It's insane.
Yeah, but
Um,
in some of squares you want to be on like 15, and you being up to 15 is very important.
that is true.
Because, right, if you're only at 12, like that's not enough, even if you have a nice split rest of the board, it's perfect. You being at 15 is so big. But this is still enough to get a top, and if you're winning a tournament, you just have to get top. So win the tournament. Good job.
Okay.
Very impressive.
So yeah, I have refreshed the power rankings here. In fact, wait, I didn't put them in order of supply sense, but whatever. I left them in the same order as last time, but just with a bigger gap between France and the rest of them. So let's go ahead to spring 1907. So the game has not been called yet.
Yep, they haven't just conceded. But we can see Germany is continuing the throw to France strategy, vacating Kiel, moving into Bohemia. Right, France is going to get to walk in there at some point. France could have walked into Ruhr, but France chose not to.
Yep.
Yeah,
France
Italy moved into
defending.
Piedmont. Right, slow it down, but it's nah.
Yeah, and England helping Germany just to hold on to Livonia there. Or, well, Russia counteracting the probably predicting this attack on St. Petersburg and doing the reverse.
Yeah, I don't know what Russia did to piss off the rest of the map so much.
Yeah, this does feel like everyone bullying Russia now. I think Russia. Well, I don't know what Russia did to England, but it just felt like England's moves that way were the natural moves after England decided to Janissary, right? But clearly they annoyed Germany by doing what they did on Warsaw, and I guess they must have annoyed Turkey much earlier in the game by stabbing them. Maybe they were the most seen as at fault for that initial 1901 blitz, or 1902, I think. Okay, yeah, they went in 02, right?
Oh, two
So
is when Italy, so when Turkey was disbanding.
right, but they
I
went
think yeah, they
in
took
spring
Black
'02.
Sea. Yeah, in spring '02. Yep.
Yeah, I think this might be revenge for that because like look at this.
Yeah, it
Uh,
might be. And
pain.
yeah, like Italy getting supported into Serbia means that Italy has a chance, right? If Italy can take all of the Austrian dots, like France isn't getting that much more.
Hmm.
Unless they just take Kiel and Berlin and Munich, because Germany's thrown. Yeah, okay.
That is true. Like as we mentioned, this Russian unit really needed to come to Italy's aid for Italy to have a shot here, and it did. So that's good. But yeah, it's still tough. Italy is at 7, France is at 9. France is going up to 10 with Edinburgh, right? So Italy needs to clean up all of the Austrian dots here. But it's
Yeah, and more, right? Because Italy's losing that rollback tiebreaker.
yes, that is true.
Yeah, so
So
you also need like Romania.
So it's quite tough, but maybe you can get Russia to throw you Romania at the end. But you have to do all this in 1.5 years now. That's really tough, especially with nothing in Trieste right now, and
Yeah.
with the Austrian retreating to Albania. So yeah,
Yep.
shall we go ahead to fall?
I don't understand the tactics of No, I do. Never mind. All right, took me a sec. I'm slow.
No
We got there.
worries. Um, so fall
Oh.
1907. Here we go.
Ooh, Livonia off the board. Ooh, they're gonna rebuild in Kiel. They're
Ooh,
not throwing.
hang on, are they turning around again? So
Yeah, they're not
Germany
throwing.
Germany also tapped Vienna here, which is
Yeah.
crucial for Italy, right? They would have lost Trieste otherwise.
Yeah. No, that's
Um,
huge. And then Piedmont holds good tactics in Munich to Berlin or to Burgundy. So like,
oh my god,
yeah.
and England tapped North Sea as well.
So it didn't
What?
force Eddie. Yeah, they're all turning around.
So
France insulted somebody. France like, yeah, okay, okay. There's a chance that Italy could. All right, if you're throwing to Italy with the rest of the board, you just support Italy into a bunch of Austrian centers and you call it a day.
hmm
And the Turkish centers, Constantinople left. So you can walk into Khan. Ooh, Italy might get thrown to. That'd be fun. That'd be a very exciting way for this to end.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like put Italy a little bit closer to France on these power rankings,
Yeah,
but still not
Italy
as
is.
high as France, I think. Um,
Because yeah, Italy still requires everyone else on the map to throw to them to win, but they are theoretically able to win now,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Wow. This was a huge turnaround. I mean, not everyone is throwing to them, right? Austria is not throwing to them. Turkey still seems to be wanting to take stuff off of Russia, even though they're like they are vacating Constantinople at the same time, so Italy can take advantage of this. But if everyone was throwing to Italy, they would probably want Romania to be helping Italy do stuff instead of having to support hold Sevastopol. So
Yeah, I think Turkey is probably just pissed at everybody who's nearby and wants to just hit them all. So that's fair. I don't think Turkey's throwing. I
yeah,
think if Turkey was expecting to take Sev, they vacate Con to build, and then they're going to hit Bulgaria next turn.
that
Sure,
makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
So it's probably just England, Germany, Italy, Russia working against France, which is still enough, I think.
Almost
If
everyone.
it's yeah, it's pretty huge. Man, I'm trying to figure out if England's flip actually makes a big difference here or not, because France can guarantee Edinburgh anyway, right? They just go in from North Sea. But maybe being out of North Sea has consequences? I'm not sure.
If you have Yorkshire, tap Eddie, and then North Sea to Norwegian. Yeah, like there might. France's position is so strong, even with all these people working together, there might still be a way to guarantee that you go up to 10 and force Italy to gain 2 next year. No, to gain 3 next year, because they have to win the tiebreaker, which is still really hard. So you might still be able to win.
Yeah,
I'd have to look at the board for a little bit, because there's going to be an army build in, or a fleet. Well, there's going to be a build in Kiel,
that is a really
which makes it
important build here.
harder.
If Denmark moves to Heligoland, suddenly Holland is under significant threat. And if you have to move out of North Sea in order to take Edinburgh, then you lose Holland at the same time. So that's
Well, there
well,
is a French
not
army in
lose, but
Ruhr. So if you Germany needs to guess right in the spring about whether or not France is support holding Ruhr or moving back to cover Holland.
mhm.
And um, in addition, Denmark has to move to Helgoland and North Sea has to not guess that. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe Holland is fine.
uh well, there's also the guess around Burgundy because Munich can go to Burgundy or not, right? Yeah, just Belgium needs to guess what Munich is doing, and Munich has 2 options: moving to Burgundy or moving into Ruhr / being supported into Ruhr.
Mhm.
So yeah, maybe
Yeah,
there's a way to give Italy 4, no 3 dots because they're +1 this year from Serbia, so they only need 3 next year to go up to 11. And yeah, Vienna, Budapest, and like Munich would do it, or Romania. We can't take Kiel. We can't take Norway. We can't take Sweden. Yeah, we're only getting Eddie as France. Yeah, okay. Okay. It's exciting. We see how much
yeah.
people throw to Italy.
All right, well, let's go through to the winter. So, winter 1907. I think the power rankings are pretty set that this is either a French or Italian win, and it's more likely a French win, but there is a shot
Yeah.
at the Italian win now that the board is relatively united. Um,
Yeah, it's much more likely a Frenchman. But again, if everyone is working together against France specifically, Italy can still pull this out.
yeah.
Are we in
So,
spring?
yeah, let's just go straight into spring here. And yeah, Germany is helping Italy into
Into
the
Vienna.
Austrian centers, into Vienna.
Yeah. Okay. So that's plus Vienna. And then probably plus Munich. Because there is no French unit adjacent to Munich. So Munich gets vacated, and then Tyrolia can take Munich. And then
Something has to cover Venice, right? Because Marseille got into Piedmont.
Yes.
And
And
It
so,
can't be
yep.
Trieste because of Budapest. Uh, so
Unless you want to bet on the bounce out of Venice,
that is true.
then Vienna could support Serbia to Budapest. Still take that. Um, there's the fun tactic down here where France did not um bounce out of Tunis, and so Ionian got into Tunis. And so now there's a Turkish fleet in Ionian Sea and can potentially tap Naples, which I would expect. And so now if France hits Tunis with strength 2, Italy's going to be down 1 down there.
Ooh, that is actually huge, right?
Yeah.
Assuming that Turkey is working with the French player, or at least is working completely independently, so we'll just take the dot.
I don't think you make this move from Aegean into Ionian unless you're coordinating with France on it.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because otherwise you just push through
Report
into
yourself into
Bulgaria, right?
Con or do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that is actually incredibly huge. This one hold in Western Mediterranean might be the difference between a win and a loss in this game. Because Italy is going to go plus Vienna, they're going to go plus Budapest, so that puts them on 10. France is on 9, they're going up to 10, right?
Yep. Yep.
Can Italy get to 11? They can get
So
given
it was
Romania.
Munich, right? There's this guess in Venice because if Italy uses Trieste to cover Venice, then if there's a bounce there, then they still cover Trieste even with the Budapest retreat. Oh, Romania maybe.
Romania
Maybe
is
you
the
don't
other
have to
option,
take
yeah.
Budapest. Yeah, maybe you just take Romania then from like Bulgaria. And then that risks it. That risks Bulgaria too much.
Well, you can just have Aegean tap Smyrna, right? And then Turkey can't be trying to take Bulgaria because they lose Smyrna if they do so. Although they
Yeah,
could go in from Black Sea.
yeah. There's a guess though, right? Because you can also support yourself into Khan from Bulgaria.
Yes, this is true.
So you just have a guess in the south, right, to take Smyrna. Um, right, Smyrna versus Khan versus like Romania or whatever.
And it's huge, but
Ooh, if Sev cuts Black Sea, right, it's guaranteed. And of course Sev would. So Sev cuts Black Sea, and then you support yourself into Khan from Bull.
then Black can go to Bulgaria to counter that, right?
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of a
Romania
guessing game there
taps
still.
Bull also.
Hmm.
But
It's
Romania can
tough.
just support Serbia to Budapest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Romania supports Serbia to Budapest to let that happen, and then there's still the same guess over in Venice. Um,
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think this move to an Ionian has made it impossible for Italy to win, regardless, right? Because Italy is going down 1, they now need to gain
yep,
4.
yep.
Uh, that is actually huge. So this could be a game-winning move right here.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. I think if you give me Italy and Russia and Germany, and you tell me what France and Turkey are doing, then I can still win no matter what. Like I can counter any order set you do. I think.
mhm.
Um, because there's lots of guessing. Like knowing what Piedmont does, if Piedmont moves into Venice or not, that's basically +1 dot. And then knowing what Turkey is doing with Black Sea, it's kind of like +1. And then we're already going to be plus Vienna and plus Budapest and plus Munich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get the
And then
+4
plus
if
Con
you.
or Smyrna. Yeah. If you guess right everywhere and everyone throws to you, you can still get there.
Mhm.
But
Man.
you have to guess a lot right. Whereas you have one fewer guess um if France didn't do this. Probably. I'm not convinced because at GNC you might have like taken Bulgaria or something. But whatever. This works out. All right.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to see the
Okay.
fault. They did it. They made it exciting at the end.
Yeah, full 1908 here. So, just immediately counting centers. 1, 2, 3. So he took Romania, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
Something that only works because Russia cut Black Sea. Uh,
Yes.
so 1, 2, 3 from that front. And he loses Naples. So yeah, it comes down to that, right? Because France ends up at 10, Italy ends up at 10.
Yep.
And man, Italy could have won if they moved to Constantinople instead of Smyrna as well. That's wow. Wow,
Wow.
what an ending.
Oof.
So it was an actually really tight race to the finish, and that hold in Western Mediterranean decided the winner. Plus, obviously, some guessing over here, but that is quite the ending for a race that we thought was over in like 1904, right, or 1905.
Yeah. Yeah, it ended up being very close, which I think can be attributed to excellent play from Italy. The entire map trying to throw to Italy also. Um, and I think also France slow playing a little bit, like not taking Ruhr, for example. Um, Retreating into London rather than Helgoland is another example, but
Hmm.
still was enough to beat 5 players coordinating to beat you.
That's France. Well, no, that's a very strong France early game play, right? Managing to take England in the way they did was huge, and
Yeah,
facing no significant opposition from any front while they were taking England was a big success on the negotiation front. And
yeah,
yeah, it felt like they thought they could win with 10. They could win with 10, it turns out, but it was a very close thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts here?
Really well played. Frankly, an excellent game all around. France needs to be nerfed. Please update the map. Um,
uh,
Devs hotfix needed.
that, yeah. I mean, France can just be a ridiculously strong power. So yes, congratulations to Nicolas Sahuguet, who I think is now a multi-time world champion. He might have even been a multi-time world champion before this, but certainly is now. And an excellent game, well played all around, and an excellent finish.